It is.
Just say,
It's started now, and we're on for people tuning in immediately because it's a video and not live. It is live for me, but not for you listening. We're
uh-huh.
using Discord because we're poor as hell, so we're on Discord. There's a reason I'm poor as hell, and it's behind me, but
Mm-hmm.
in over there. So what's your name?
You fucking know what my name is.
Okay, that's not appropriate.
Say our title.
I don't know. I already forgot. I can't like go look for it either because it's gonna
Oh
mess
my
up the
God.
It's wait. It's unlikely. It's not Among Us.
Associates.
Associates. I. It starts with A. Okay, it starts with A. I thought I don't know because it started with me
With no
targeting you in
humor.
Among Us. Like the banter mostly started with
Yeah.
the player targeting there. I also don't like that it mirrors the words because it's like backwards anyway. I was looking at myself. Yours isn't backwards. You can like read it correctly, but
I can read yours correctly.
it's correct for you?
Yeah.
Or can you just do you just know? I don't know. Okay.
But
I don't know how that
yes,
works.
I agree
There's
with you because when we were in marching band or like first like after you got over the hating me part once I
I
started
never
dating Joey.
hated you. That is
You
not
fucking did. You
okay.
and Hunter.
I just didn't know you. There's a difference between hate and not knowing someone.
Then why did you and Hunter always talk shit?
Well, probably because we couldn't believe that Joey got a girlfriend. We were like, oh, there's something wrong with this person. They're not real. They're
Thanks.
fabricated.
Thanks. Um, anyway, once we actually started like hanging out at like band camp and stuff like that, like we were still like the nice kinds of friends, like the
It's
associative friends.
like you know each other, but it's awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, you know each other, but it's awkward and you like I'm your best friend's girlfriend, you're my boyfriend's I almost said you're my boyfriend's boyfriend. You're my
I
boyfriend's best friend.
I don't swing
And
that way. If I'm gonna be honest,
you sure? Do you remember Alejandro
I don't remember the situation, but that name sounds familiar.
from last year on Tinder?
Oh, we'll get to that later. That's on the
Is it on your
list.
iceberg?
That's on the
Yes!
list. Not that
Yes!
specifically, but like the broader title is.
Oh, okay. Well, I looked at Joey because I was doing my iceberg and I was like, he better have fucking Alejandro on.
I forgot about that.
Oh boy.
I probably wouldn't be able to
Um,
spell it anyway.
it's Alex, but then with a J, and then you do Andro, Andro.
Yeah, you just told me how to spell it, and I wouldn't be able to repeat it right now. Like I could not tell you.
Okay. But yes, you were right. And then it wasn't until Among Us got big, and then we all played on that, and then for some reason you decided to put a target on my back.
Cause you, I don't. It felt like there was like 2 or 3 games in a row where it was you every time, and I was like, well, it's just gonna be Jordan every time. I just decided that, and
Oh,
it
it felt
worked
like
out.
I was never it. And like that's what it is. Like I'm never it. And then when I am, I'm it for like 5 fucking rounds. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm tired of this. Patrick always gets me. It's like, and I always want to go after you first, but then I'm like, but if I go after
Then
him,
everyone's gonna
then
be like, oh,
everybody's
it's
gonna
Jordan.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And then
the
everybody thinks it's funny to follow your suit and be like, it's Jordan.
like or Jesus, the Coster imposter clause that states that Jaden Coster is the imposter because it rhymes.
I fucking hate that. Um, and there were like 5 games where we had where like we would all know who the real like imposter was, and then we would vote, and it would be like a really close vote, and you would always fucking vote me. You would be the only one that voted me. You would see that little
It would like
that little
tie. It would
blue
tie
Among Us
between the
icon.
actual imposter and somebody else, and then the tiebreaker was me voting for you instead.
Yes, yes, because you fucking thought it was funny.
It was funny.
Okay, anyway, you go first. I want you to go first. I'm nervous to go first.
With the icebergs,
Hmm.
even though yours has been on display for. Oh, it doesn't show me how long I've been recording.
Is it on display like on the video? I can't see it.
Yes. On
Okay.
what do you have? Do you just have my face open on your screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have
How do I like?
I have like I don't know if you can see me. On the left side of me is the list, and then the right side is you, and I'm like on the bottom because it's like a try because there's only
Okay.
3.
How do I see that?
You would watch my Discord stream, not me, but the screen I'm streaming, which
I didn't know.
will make a
It's not
noise.
showing me that you're streaming. Oh wait,
Did you find it?
I found it.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I still want you to do yours first.
After all, okay. Like we're doing my whole thing, like, cause.
Yes.
Okay, let me. Right there is. Do you have like open for yourself? You can see. Okay, awesome. I
Yeah.
guess we'll go ahead and get into the lore. This isn't everything. This isn't my life story. This is literally like a snapshot of maybe the last 8 years or so.
You said you had like 4 or 5 things on each section, but
That was a
you have
guess.
like 10.
There's a lot. There's a lot to go through. There's a lot of.
Mine looks pathetic compared to
Well,
yours.
some of them aren't like beyond more than 2 sentences though. That's like part of like. Not all of them have a whole story.
Dog treat incident.
You're skipping ahead. You're spoilers.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
also,
sorry.
Also, the second tier is black text because of how the coloring worked. I don't know. The rest fit with the
Okay.
white color, but the white color you couldn't see too easily, so I changed
Mm-hmm.
that one to black.
Maybe
Anyway,
because like the iceberg is white.
maybe because the iceberg is. Anyway, moving on from that, the top tier is like general knowledge, not too cursed, you know. Like
Mhm.
bass drum, I played bass drum in high school. Not in I'm not doing that in college, but in high school I was bass drum. Rosalina, I main her in Smash, Mario Kart, my favorite character, yada yada. Talking Ben.
I feel like Talking Ben should be cursed.
It's maybe a little. It's the most cursed one on the tier. I'll give, like just
Okay.
and
I feel like it should at least be on the third tier.
yeah, I messed around a while trying to figure out where things should be placed. Maybe that one's a bit of an outlier, being it's a little early, it's a little taste test on what's to come. And literally the only story to that is just I'll just like turn Patrick off and turn Talking Ben on and only respond like because when you tried to get me to go swimming, and I was like, oh no, I have a headache, but then you kept pushing for me to go swimming, so I was like, all right, Patrick's going to sleep, time for Ben, and
Did you put did you put that on the iceberg?
no, I was good. I was including it with
Oh,
Ben.
that's part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I pulled your pants off.
Okay, context. Not all the way, and my underwear was still on, and that was to shift me into swimming trunks gear, which I forgot to bring to your house anyway, so I just had to wear my shorts. And the shorts incident is a few tiers down. We'll talk about more of that later. Um, the the ham and cheese Lunchable. There's no story. That's just my favorite Lunchable combo. Along mocha double shot. It's like my favorite energy coffee. Not my favorite coffee, but it's one of my favorite drinks.
I know what you're saying because I've like you had like one every day when we came to Massachusetts.
I have one
Every time we went
every
out.
day. Yeah. Then the last one on tier 1 is Bink Patrol, which is me watching my brother for money
I knew it was gonna be.
because he's disabled and he needs like constant care, eating, showering, whatever. So I'm paid through the state, whatever, to do that. And that's easy enough to do through college because that's that's a lot anyway. That's what Bink Patrol, and his nickname is Bink. That's why it's Bink
I feel
Patrol.
like that's not like. So like Joey and I were talking about it the other day. It's like
Oh, you
yeah,
talk
like
about
you
me?
get. Yes, we talk about you.
Aw,
All bad things.
yeah.
We were talking about how because Joey like was talking about how he like gets made fun of at work by the Kroger employees because they call him like a mall cop or like all that kind of thing. Um, but and, like we were talking about it, and he was like I'm still like I'm getting paid to be on call, and then somehow it transferred to like talking about you and like your job and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And we were like, he was like, well, like, because I think he was talking about how envious or something he was, but then he was like, well, he still has like he may get to be at your like his house and like chill there for the most part, but taking care of Garrett is still a lot of work. And like when
Yeah.
you do have to take care of him, like with his meltdowns, that's a lot of work.
No,
And
like
so we were talking about that.
you'll have like a 3 hour block where nothing. It's always when you're like down there and ready for something, he doesn't do anything. But like
Hmm.
the millisecond I like think about going to the bathroom, just the tidal wave of needs, and I'm allowed to talk like this about him since he's my brother. Tidal wave of needs comes in, and like I'm paid to take care of it. I take care of it, but um, yeah, that's uh, that's how I
And then
afford games.
we
You have something to add there? You got cut off by me talking.
you're fine. I just was gonna say, and then we talked about your sticky table.
Sticky table. What's my sticky table?
Your table, your dining room table, and where his spot is.
Oh, it's not sticky any because my dad put the whatever stuff.
The new varnish on?
Well, I don't know. I don't know table
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
It's
All
not
right.
sticky. Okay,
Fucking dumbass.
you're done talking about sticky table then, because then
Yeah.
we can move on to tier two and some stories here.
Okay.
I'll start with the top. They're not ordered within the tiers. They're just placed in there to be like, they're not in order within themselves. But anyway, we'll start with the Big Spank. It's a holiday classic. Every, I believe every year, maybe twice a year. I don't know. I'm only there once or twice a year because several states
Mm-hmm.
away. Anyway, the Big Spank. The way it's dealt with is slightly different every time, but generally it's like, to make it simple, everybody draws a card. Imagine biggest number, lowest number. One is doing the spank and one is getting spanked.
Is that
And
for New Year's?
that was New Year's. It's usually New Year's or Christmas. So I think it's just annual once a year. I think we've done it 2 or 3 times, maybe four. Not four, probably 2 or 3 times. Um, but I've never done or gotten spanked through that. I think Joey's been spanked and has done the spanking already, but that doesn't disqualify him from participating in, like, it's just randomized every time. I don't know, it's just a cute little fun time for all the guys to, do that. Let's see. Super Fighting Action Amiibo Team. I'm not sure if you're too familiar. Are you familiar with this one? It's kind of a
No.
classic. No? Okay, well, later, like, at the bottom of the list is 3 a.m. fights, but it was one of those. Um,
Okay.
and we were arguing about, this was like middle school, 7th grade or something. We were arguing about something. I brought my amiibos over. I had a cool little Mario case. I was like, oh, I'm gonna tap these in. I was that
Hmm.
Nintendo kid, still am. But I brought, like, I don't know, Mega Man, Zelda, Mewtwo, something, like a set of 5 or so of them. And for some reason, Joey and Hunter were playing Smash, and I wasn't allowed to play because of some fight. I don't remember what we were arguing about. But
I
then
feel like I vaguely remember
it's
this.
gonna get funnier the more you remember. So I'm sitting at like his desk, and I'm like pissed off because I love Smash Bros. And I'm not playing. I think we might have not had enough controllers or something. Oh,
Hmm.
and then what happened was he was like, oh well, he had the singular, what's his name? The Resetti from Animal Crossing amiibo sitting in front
Hmm.
of the controller playing instead of me playing. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then I got all of my amiibos together on his desk, and we're like, well, this is the Super Action Fighting Amiibo team, and we're having a better time than you're having. 7th grade, by the way. This isn't like preschool playground. This is like we're having sex education in the classroom, and we get home from school and do
All
this.
together,
Huh?
like with like having sex education, like while females and males are still in the same room together.
Yeah.
That's how old you guys are.
Yes. Um. So that one's a bit more like unknown rather than cursed, because like it was just, I don't know, I thought I was cool by doing that, and then I just got laughed at for like 3 hours. But and I put some of the, like, it's probably boring all like at the beginning, but like the deeper we go into this, the more interesting the stories hopefully will be. Starting with the dog treat incident, which I'm pretty sure you either heard about it the other night or you're already aware of it.
I don't.
Oh, not at
Did this
all.
happen recently?
This was at STEM, like sophomore year.
I
So
don't know yet. I don't know yet. It doesn't sound familiar quite yet.
2017-ish. We were at lunch, and Joey hands me this cookie. Yeah, you're already laughing. You know where this is going.
No, bro. Like I know where it's going, but I don't remember the
Oh,
story.
and I still like I had braces for a few years. I was still wearing them at this time,
I
and
remember you with braces.
yeah, not my best look. So I had braces. This is important for the end of the story. And Joey hands me this cookie, and he's like, "We made this in foods class, me and Sam or somebody." And he was like, "Eat this. It tastes good." And I took a bite, and I swear to God, I've never tasted anything worse in my entire life. This was the worst flavor, like smell or flavor that has ever I don't like when you smell or taste. I don't whatever the worst thing, worse than skunks, whatever. So and I was like, I faked being nice because I thought it was a cookie that he made, and he was like, "It's a pumpkin cookie," and I'm like, "This tastes like a rotten pumpkin." Whatever.
Joey was a fucking dick.
That's a common theme through this iceberg.
Wait, wait.
What?
That's fucking hilarious because when I was making my iceberg earlier, he got mad at me because he saw like a couple other things. He was like, "This better not be a podcast of talking shit about Joey."
It's not. I'm telling a story, unbiased. This isn't talking shit. So I'm eating it. I'm eating the treat, or not the treat, the cookie. It's the cookie at this point. And I'm like being nice about it, whatever. He waits until it's like in my braces. When you eat something, when you have braces, it like gets in there a little bit. And I'm like, this cookie was pretty like decently sized, like this big. You don't really have a scale, I guess, but it was about that big. And I'm like halfway through eating this cookie in the middle of a conversation, and then he's like, "So how's the cookie?" And I'm like, "It's pretty good. I'm in, whatever." And then he's like, "It's a dog treat." And then I look at it, and I look at him, and then it sets in like, when you open the Milk Bones dog treats that smell like it doesn't smell like food, but it's like a dog.
Yeah.
That is what because it was a little familiar in flavor. It hit me. I looked at him, and the Grinch, whenever his smile comes around his face multiple times.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
He had that smile, and I was like, "Oh my fucking God, you did not." And he was like, "We made dog treats," and I thought it would be fun. And he didn't even finish talking before I stood up, and this trash can is like almost next to us, and I'm already trying to pick it out of my braces. I don't think I got all of it out until I went home, I don't know, a few hours later. But I got most of it out during then.
That's fucking awful.
It could have been worse, because it was one they made. It's not like a store-bought one. I don't know. It was, yeah, that was nice. Let's see what else we got. Moving to Mass twice. So, we moved to Massachusetts in 2013. I don't think you knew me. I knew Joey though. And then we were there. It was we moved in June. It became August. We were like, "Oh, the house in Ohio isn't selling. Shocker." So we had to move back because of money issues and whatnot. And then we moved back again. That's where I am right now. And I thought that was just a little interesting that we moved here twice. I wouldn't
And you were
recommend.
pissed about it.
I was.
I still have.
Yeah.
I think we still have the picture. Yeah, I think we have the picture of. I'm looking at it right now, where it was the one where we actually got in marching band, where we actually got our own uniforms, and Joey surprised us, and I was a little salty when he did that because I was he literally only came for you and Hunter, mostly you, and he didn't say hi to me until 10 minutes after just hanging out with you guys. And when he first came, Cosette was this is when Cosette didn't hate him yet. She was what'd she say? She was like, "Oh my God, look, Jordan, it's Joey." And then I looked over and I saw, and you guys were hugging or saying hi or whatever, and I was I looked back and I was like, "Yeah, he only came for Patrick."
Oh,
and
didn't know that.
Started, yeah. Yep, that started the hatred where Cosette started to hate Joey. Ever since then, she talked shit about him.
I do remember Cosette doing that.
Yeah.
Well, back to not happy times, because this next story is a good one. The soggy chicken sandwich incident. is I think I saw something similar on your list, which you're like, what? That
I thought
doesn't make
those
sense.
I
But
thought those were two different things. Like I thought it was soggy chicken, and then I thought it was sandwich incident.
uh,
Like I
I
thought
can
they were
see.
two separate things.
Yeah, I tried to like make everything differently sized slightly so you could like. It's a little complicated. Anyway, whatever. So that's one incident where
Hmm.
I believe it was sophomore year. It had to have been winter because we were in indoor percussion, and this was the first. This was the genesis of me ditching, and I was. This was an asshole move. Like set. Like
Oh, this was the
completely.
beginning.
This is the like. Bit. 100% me being an asshole. Just whatever. Anyway, this incident specifically, the beginning was. It was after we had performed and we got to the buses, changed whatever, go back, and I see Hunter on my way in, and he's like sitting there eating, and I think it was Lee's chicken that was like built into this stadium or whatever, and he was eating it like a chicken sandwich, and then I just go with other people who I don't really talk too much anymore, which is also
Hmm.
something Hunter like predicted that too, but I ditched him in that situation at that time, and went with other
Hmm.
people. And so it's called that because he was eating soggy chicken while being upset that I had ditched him. Rightfully upset. I was an ass. That was completely an asshole move by me.
We should make a short film of that.
Uh, can we make it like a silent film with like the
That's what I was
cards?
thinking. That's what I was thinking.
um, but yeah, don't ditch people that are actually your friends. If
I'm
if
gonna
you were
turn this
planning
into
on
one of
doing that,
Brennan's TikToks.
a little inspiration, yeah, a little. Um, so that's not as cursed. I would say it's not as cursed, but it is something to be addressed about my lore of being an ass.
You're
That
not always an ass. I think that was like
no,
the only time I've ever been pissed at you.
I not to toot my own horn, but I think that's the only not just that. Like I did several ditching, but that was when
Hurtful bitch.
I okay. That was me being an ass. I believe that is the only time where I've genuinely like there hasn't been like, oh, this side is right, wrong, there's whatever. But that was like
Hmm.
100% black and white, yes or no being wrong, and I was completely wrong for doing that.
Hmm.
So, be nice kids if you're listening. And the
I don't think parents are gonna let their kids listen to this.
no, but hopefully they do so we get money through advertisements or something. Anyway, next tier we have, let's see who should go first. Maybe we'll do shorts incident since that was talked about briefly, touched upon when I was only talking through talking Ben responses,
Oh.
and you because I get headaches a lot. I say headache, not headache, so be ready for that if you have an issue with that. Um, I get headaches a lot. Don't know why, I just do. And I just didn't feel like swimming. And this baffled Jordan and Joey and Hunter, like, what? And Joel, wait, was Hunter? Yeah, Hunter was there. And Joel,
Oh my God.
they're like, what? You don't want to swim? And I was like, well, I have a headache. No, I took a headache pill. I was like, oh, well, then it's gone then. That's what it does.
You you literally were the one that wanted to fucking swim. And then we and then we go to swim and you're like, guys, I'm not coming. Not hey, can I take an ibuprofen and can we wait like a couple minutes before we go out for my headache to go away? No, it was I'm just not going. You guys have fun. Like for the 4 days that you were here, like
Yeah.
we were gonna fucking ditch you. Like we're not you, Patrick.
Oh, okay. See, I bring it back. I bring this story back into the light for a little bit, and then it comes back immediately.
But then, yes, I put you on the ground and I took off your pants.
Okay, story. You were attempting to get me dressed for swimming. And
I was attempting to get you undressed first.
yes. And you were mad. Like, you got to this point of doing that because I was only responding to everyone with yes or no or the ho 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 that Talking Ben does, which basically made Joey and Joel, like, they just started sitting down laughing like they couldn't They couldn't take it too seriously, but you like powered through it, and you're like, you're gonna stop. And the more I did it, the more difficult it became to keep the joke going. But I'm glad that
Yeah.
this was like 20 minutes of just yes or no talking. And anyway, you eventually, I wouldn't say you convinced me, but I think I waited for you to walk away, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then I changed while nobody was looking. But
No, because you said because we were doing it and it was like taking forever and I'm still continuing to fight you on it and you kept telling me no, or like you would fake me out and say yeah, and then like no, or whatever the fuck you did.
no.
And then Joey said something along the lines of he was like, I think at this point Patrick's just trying to be funny and he's really okay swimming, and you went or you said yes in the talking Ben voice or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's when I got pissed off.
So, after all that's settled, we're finally out there and swimming, whatever. We're having a good time. Now, I'm wearing these, like, basketball shorts that, like, when they're on my waist, the length goes to about under my knee, and I'm, like, I don't know, 5'9" or 10 or something. Maybe 6.
Mhm.
I'm not 6. I'm, like, just under it. Anyway, whatever. So, these shorts are pretty long. Large size shorts. And I'm like, hey, Joel. And he's like, what? And I'm like, watch what I can do. And I pull the shorts up to, like, here. So it looks like it's a single, like, swimsuit piece.
I remember that.
Not realizing the effects it would have on the lower portion of my body.
You thought it just stretched over like a yoga suit.
And
Or
I realized the importance of compression shorts in that moment. Because then I think everyone had the same reaction. And also, when you have that body part that I have, and you get a little chilly, you're in the pool for a while, it's not the proudest time for it to be trying to show off.
I don't even think it came out from the bottom.
No, it wasn't revealed, but the silhouette was like
Oh,
very
yeah.
clearly there.
Yes.
And everyone at once was like, Patrick, pull your pants down. And I was like, why? Do you have a problem with it being this long? Like, I could not comprehend that you were seeing the lower portion of my body at that, not seeing the silhouette of it. And also, like, most of my ass, because it crept up into my, like, booty hole there and was like, my cheeks were kind of just hanging low there.
Yes.
But, though they're not short shorts, it's the short shorts incident because I made them shorter on the lower half and revealed.
Oh, yep.
And I don't believe anybody was a fan of that situation. Man, there's so many good stories on this tier. So Jaden's bed. Me, Brennan, and Jaden are at Jaden's house, and we just got done playing Smash or whatever, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go to bed for the night. And we go out to Jaden's living room, and I think, like, Brennan took the long couch, even though he's the shortest, smallest one out of all of us. He took the longest couch. Jaden took the chair, and I took the short couch, and I was like, well, I got stuffed. I didn't want this. It's like, because my legs are all, like, off the side of it. My head's, like, in my boobs. And then I'm like... And I want to point out, Jaden specifically said that we weren't allowed to sleep in his bed. Like, he made that a clear point. But I waited until they were both asleep. I got up, and I walked to his room, and I laid down in his bed.
Oh, no.
And I slept in his bed. And then the next morning, you know, like, in cartoons when, like, the music's playing, the sun's coming in, there's, like, birds chirping or whatever. I, like, woke up like that. But then I looked to my side, and Jaden's sitting there, like, pissed to all hell. Just so angry, and he's playing Rocket League or something, and then he's like, how'd you sleep? I knew immediately. I just started laughing, but yeah, he didn't like me.
You didn't
sleeping
enjoy
in his
that?
bed. No, not a fan.
Do a hamburger lady next. I want to know what that is.
So, as all these good stories start, me, Hunter, and Joey are hanging out. We're driving somewhere, I don't know where, and I think we're coming back from something because we were heading towards somebody's house. So we were leaving Springfield or something. And opposite to us is like this pickup truck that's super old, ratty. It doesn't look like it could even run anymore. Is like coming the opposite way. You don't think much of another car other than, oh, it's another car. But then Me and Joey because we're both he's driving, I'm in the passenger seat. We look in, and like the skin tone, the makeup, and just the overall expression on this lady's face looked like a hamburger. Like the arrangement of the makeup coloring and like just her skin tone in general. I don't know if it was like a body spray, like fake tan. It was kind of like that shade, like
Mm-hmm.
not a real skin tone. But me and Joey look at each other at the same time as she's passing, and we just say "hamburger lady." Just
What the fuck?
I don't know why we both thought that, but that's a thing that happened. So enjoy that, I guess. Um, Fedor Kisses isn't too like. There's not a lot of lore heavy stuff here. It's just if you ever sleep at Hunter's dad's house, you need to accept the fact that you're gonna wake up to Fedor trying to like manicure your hair. He's gonna like lick all over it like how dogs do. That his dog.
Mm.
That's all that one. Well, it's like every
That's it.
time, like guaranteed.
That seems like something that should be on like Hunter's Iceberg.
Yeah. The, do you know? I'm gonna save. There's like two heavy hitters to the left. I'll do the Donkey Kong amiibo plate incident. Do you know about that one?
No.
So, oh, he's across the room. I'm not gonna go get him. The Donkey Kong Smash amiibo it's a plastic $12 toy. It's not. There's not a lot to it that you would imagine it could do stuff like physically. But some dumbass, I don't know who, but we were having some kind of birthday party or something, and they had pizza on a silverware, not silverware, but like on a plate that's not a paper plate, like one that you would have in your kitchen. That's like, I don't know what the material is, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
Styrofoam?
not styrofoam, but like a plate, like I don't know,
Cer
not glass, but
ceramic?
yeah, that's the word. So somebody put it on the floor. Great idea. I think there's another story about putting things on the floor. Somebody put their plate on the floor right in front of the amiibo shelf, and then somebody else waltzed into the amiibo shelf, and Donkey Kong fell 3 feet total, and cracked this plate in half, like a clean cut in half, and then the plates like separated like the tectonic plates on Earth. And the amiibo sat in the middle, like unscratched, no like little paint chip off, nothing. And I believe it's my Amazon picture, like profile picture on Amazon for like, not even like the Prime Video, but like for ordering stuff online. That I just have the picture of the plate and I enjoy that story because like why would amiibo be able to break a plate in half? That's just a little silly. I
I'm
think.
glad that's so funny to you.
You don't find it too funny. You think it's funny that I think it's funny. But
I think that one could have gone in the second tier, and the dog tree incident could have gone in
Yeah.
the third tier.
yeah, that's true. These next two are definitely deserving of this tier. The Spider-Man PS4 incident. The the day or the day after it came out, we're all me, Joey, Hunter, Brennan are hanging out at Hunter's house, and he got Spider-Man PS4 like right when it came out, put it in, whatever, it's installing. I didn't have a PS4. I don't know how the hardware worked or anything. I was just looking around. Obviously, I like video games, so I was like looking around the system, getting a good feel for it, and I was like, so this button is the one that ejects. And the fun thing about the specific PS4 he had was that it's like touch sensitive, not like a button you press, but like if you just like kind of tap it a little bit like a cell phone, it would eject the disc or turn it off. So about 5 minutes, and this install takes like 2 hours. About 5 minutes away from it being completed, I was exploring the console and ejected the disc. Out comes the disc onto the floor. Well, not onto the floor, it like sticks out. And the download cancels, all like 40 gigabytes just go gone. So I get banished into Hunter's closet until they put it back in and started downloading again. So a full 2 hours of me sitting in the closet. I'm pretty sure there's video of it too somewhere. Joey probably has it in his files, but
Probably.
but yeah, they made me sit in there until it finished installing.
I would get like PTSD from that.
I mean, it wasn't too. It wasn't like a small closet. It was pretty spacious, and Hunter was like, it was pretty clean in there. So I just played on my phone. But then when you're like, okay, you could come out. I like leave the closet. They're like, oh, you came out of the closet. Yeah, whatever. um, Game room tornado cleanups. And I worded it like that because I wasn't the one doing the tornadoes. But
Was it Joey?
yes, do you not
Yeah.
know?
No.
You'll know as I talk about it. So I had a lot less stuff than I do now, obviously, but I still had a game room at my old house, things on shelves, displayed, whatever. And whenever me and Joey would get into an argument, not like a little one, but like one that's like maybe 10, 15 minutes long, and he's had enough, he would do a tornado, and anything on a shelf, anything on display, anything that isn't already on the floor
I think I do
becomes
remember this.
on the floor. And it would upset me greatly, and that's why he would do it, is for the attention. But over time, I believe in both him growing up and me learning how to not react. It just slowly didn't happen anymore. I don't even remember the last one. But
Watch, he's gonna listen to this, and then the next time
yeah, he's gonna do one
we're
just to...
there, yeah.
I should admit, it's not just like knocking the games off the shelf, like 5 or 6. No, every game, most posters, like, he would be careful about removing the posters, but he would take them down. Like, it would look like you had just moved in and all your boxes are in the middle of the room and you haven't unpacked. Just, like, every time. And I would have to clean, like, he wouldn't clean it up. He didn't know where things went, so I would do that. And I think the only thing that ever took damage was, like, the case of my Mario Maker Wii U just slightly took damage, but nothing else. Not even amiibos. In the amiibos, he would just, like... Oh, and same with... They're not in this room, but, like, the little Mario and Sonic figures that are, like, this tall, and, like, they're not supposed to stand up because they're children's toys. They're not supposed to be on display, but it would take hours to stand... Anyway, let's, Is that it for that tier, I believe? Yes. Do you have anything that I've been rambling?
No.
No? Okay.
Do you want to switch over? Because I don't know how long we can do like this episode for. Do you want to switch over?
Yeah.
And then if we continue to have time.
Yeah, it's like halfway through, so we can switch over to yours real quick. So yours is on display. We're still recording and good. All right. Do you see yours?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. I'm ready for... Some of these definitely intrigue me, so let's
So you definitely can tell at the beginning, at the very top tier, I didn't understand that this was like random words that coincide with things inside your head and don't explain them on the paper. So I did purple favorite color, Taylor middle name. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Hi, Scarlett. Sorry.
And I asked Joey to help me with this because he also was like, I was helping Patrick with his, and I was like, I just asked you like 5 times to help me with mine. What the fuck? He was like, but you're boring. Anyway, so the second one is Bandcamp, and I just put it on there because I was like, I mean, that's like a moderate thing people know about me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the like. Obviously, my coworkers know I'm in vet science, and like some of them know my name's Taylor, and like most of my shit is purple, so like pretty clear that what my favorite color is. And then like every time I bring up Bandcamp, or marching band in general, literally every single person I have ever met quotes the one movie or whatever that goes, this one time at band camp.
Oh yeah.
It's so fucking annoying. I want to punch him in the face. And then I put Patrick ditched us because all through band camp, you ditched us.
I did do that.
For the drum line.
I did.
Even when you were in pit.
Yeah. Wow. I was such an ass.
It's okay.
Why are you my friend? What the fuck?
Because I'm sure there were shitty things I've done to you too, And you are not like, you're not the most confrontational person in the world. So I'm sure you probably haven't told me all of the shitty things I've done or the things that have made you upset.
I can't think of
So
anything. Like, I'm sure if I did some soul searching, I would find one thing or two, but
probably. And like I'm sure there are probably things you just don't remember anymore. Like I don't remember like everything that you've done to me that like or that Joey's done to me, but I know he's pissed me off a shit ton.
yeah.
Anyway, so then I decided to get a little spicy and I put
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 for truck,
Oh,
obviously.
I love that one. Please tell that. Are you gonna tell that one, or are we just leaving it?
I will tell that one.
Awesome. Wait,
So
1,000? That just hit me. 1,000? I thought it was like a couple hundred.
no,
That's like the
I
whole
worked.
truck. Wait, no, it's not. Cause
So
whatever. But
I think it was eighth grade year into freshman year. And it was that summer. And beforehand, I'd been talking about how much I wanted a computer, and specifically a computer like the one I have now, where I can like turn it into a tablet and use it as like a drawing tablet.
yeah.
But I wanted it for like I wanted it a computer, so I didn't just want a drawing tablet. I wanted a computer so I could like do shit on it, and then I wanted a drawing tablet. So I talked about so much, and my mom came up to me, and like previously every summer I've always worked for her and like cleaned the house and took care of my siblings, my three younger siblings, and the animals. And most of the time made them like lunch, and or like late lunch or early dinner or whatever, depending on how tired she was, unless she decided she wanted to get in the kitchen after dinner. Which, to be fair, she did most of the time. But anyway, so I was never paid for it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but so that summer, she comes to me and she goes, "Look, I will pay you this amount of money." So she said, "I'll pay you this amount of money for every week you do like your normal stuff, and then I will pay you double it if you go above and beyond." I was like, "Okay." So
Above and
I
beyond.
believe yeah, like I went above and beyond every single fucking week. I went and I deep cleaned. Like I may not have done it every single day of every week, but every single week at one or two times, I would like pull furniture out. And like we had like that big ass metal table that my dad loved for some reason, and the big ass metal end tables in the living room, and the big ass leather couch, and the two other couches, and and then we had the other living room where it had a couch and a chair and a table. That one was just a wooden table, and then like the dining room table, which was huge because we had six people in our family, and we had a carpet, like a rug under the dining room table in the dining room, and then our kitchen was always a mess because everybody was always making food. Someone was always hungry in that house, so therefore someone was always making some kind of food, therefore making some kind of mess in that house. And of course, the bathrooms were disgusting in our rooms. Our rooms weren't the biggest deal for my mom though, because as long as she didn't have to walk in there, most of the time she didn't care, though she kind of did. But anyway, but like I would move like that big ass dining room table. I would move that most of the time by myself. Like most of the time the kids did not help. They would straighten up and then I would be the one, I put on my headphones and I would just do the fucking rest. And like I would move the table and then I would vacuum the little rug or like the big ass rug, and then I would move the rug and then I would like sweep and mop, and then I would like scrub the baseboards or wipe the walls down, and then I would move everything back and I would spray Febreze and make it all look and smell pretty. And most of the time she was never satisfied. Like she always had something to say about something, but she paid me, to be fair, she paid me. Burps. It's okay. Sorry, she was having a nightmare. Um, she paid me every week. I had a little, because like my mom has done this kind of shit before where like she says she'll pay me and she doesn't, or something happens, um or she's like, well, I'll hold on to the money for you, but it's yours to spend. And then when I go to spend it, she's like, well, you already spent your money. And I'm like, on what? She's like, that thing a couple weeks ago. Like, or like she'll pick something that she did for me and be like, well, you spent it on this. I didn't fucking know I was spending on that. I wouldn't have wanted that. Like,
Yeah.
fine, like, anyway. So, but I had like several $100s, and um it got up, I think it was around $700, and then like the last 4 or 5 weeks, um, it of the summer, she did the thing where she was like, well, like, do you mind if I just hold on to it, or like I'll pay you next week or whatever? And that just like never really happened. But she said she was like keeping the track of the money in her head. Well, she also started working for my grandpa as an electrician that works for Buckeye Real Estate near OSU. Um, and she decided they both had like they had two cars. My dad had his, I think he had his 4Runner at that time. And then my mom had her minivan. And like she like that minivan was big, and like she didn't take us fucking anywhere. She didn't want to drive us to school. Like she didn't want to like take me anywhere to go shopping or anything like that. So like we mostly stayed at home if we didn't go to school.
Yeah.
Um but anyway, so like, and she had plenty of space to put her, like, she put all of her shit in there. She could fit anything, but she wanted a work truck that she doesn't even use anymore, mind you, like, rarely uses. Um, so she comes to me towards the end of the summer and she's like, look, I need to get a work truck. She was like, I'll take you next month. We'll go get the computer that you want. Do you mind if I take that couple $100s back to help put a down payment on my work truck?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, like I was naive and innocent, even though my mom had done this to me before, but she hadn't done it with this much money, and she had given me the money, so I was like, okay, maybe she's actually good for it this time. So I'm like, okay, so I go and I get behind my TV. That's where I kept like the little wallet thing, and I got all the money out and I gave it to her, and I never saw that money again. And she comes home either that day or the next day or whenever they went to go get the truck, comes home with this truck. And I would say at least $500 worth of like plants and garden accessories and shit like that in the back of her work truck. Um, and she kept telling me like for the rest of that year, she was like, okay, I'll take you next month to go get your computer. I'll take you next month. And then it got closer to Christmas and she was like, well, I'll get it for you for Christmas. And I'm like, not to sound like ungrateful or anything, but I fucking earned the money. Like
Yeah.
I should be able to fucking spend my money on the computer that I want. And then she said, well, okay, I didn't get it for Christmas. Um, and then she was like, well, tax return, I'll get it for you. I did not get a computer for tax return. Instead, what happened was Gabriel, my beloved little brother.
Oh yes.
That was the year that the Switch came out.
I know what happens.
And Gabriel got his Switch.
Yep.
I did not get my computer.
Nope.
And then she told me, "Oh, I'll get it for your birthday." Never got it for my birthday.
Nope.
And from then and there, like I think she forgot about it, and I stopped asking for it. And then the next year, or maybe like a year after that, it was when I was working at Sheffield as a kennel assistant, and then I was also working at my school because I worked at the Career Technology Center. I was in the vet science program, and we had a bunch of animals there. I'm just telling this for people who don't know that. And so obviously someone needs to take care of them on the weekends when the students are there and the breaks. I was one of the students who was paid by the school to also go in the breaks and weekends to go take care of them. Well, so one day I go in there and our rabbit, who had not been doing well for a hot while, was like seizing in his cage. And he had really raspy breath, and I could tell he was in respiratory distress. So I like pulled him out, and this was like the first time that like I've ever dealt with like an emergency situation, because I was new. I was brand fucking new. I wasn't even out of high school. And so I'm like holding him. I'm freaking out. I called my teacher, and she was like, I'm like an hour away. I'm on my way, but there's nothing really I can do other than like when I get there, if he's still alive, to go take him and euthanize him. But it just... I mean, he ended up passing away in my arms, and I was on the phone with my mom as he did. And
Why are you laughing?
Because here goes the funny part. So she and my dad were, because at that time I still didn't drive. So like they had dropped me off. So she and my dad were at Walmart
Mm-hmm.
and um they were doing whatever. They were shopping at Walmart. And when I was on the phone with him, I got off the phone after he died, and they decided it was appropriate to go and get like the cheapest computer that was on sale
Oh no.
and buy that for me because they felt sad for me because the rabbit died in my arms.
Like, when you say computer, you're talking about a
Like a
laptop.
laptop. Yes, like a
Like the
laptop. And
the cheapest laptop.
like it was like $200 or $300, I think, because it was on sale. And like it had a touch screen, but like I couldn't do anything on it because like it didn't like fold back.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much useless as like a drawing thing or what I wanted in a drawing tablet or anything. So, and my mom was like, "Aren't you so happy?" And I was like crying because like the rabbit died in my arms when she picked me up. And I was like in my head, I'm like, "No, this is not what I wanted. A rabbit just died in my fucking arms. Why can't my parents just like love me?"
Oh.
They have to buy my fucking like they have to buy sympathy for me. And in my head or out like verbally I'm like, yeah, I love it. Thank you guys. So yeah. Um that was the $1,000 for the truck story.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. And then my broken ankle.
Oh, we're moving on. All right, we're just
Yeah.
next one. Here we go.
Do you have something to say about
I
it?
don't, but just breathe in and out real quick, and then the next one.
I'm trauma dumping here.
Yeah.
So anyway, broken ankle. So Christmas, was it 2 years now ago?
I thought it was just last year. Was it 2 years ago?
It wasn't this last Christmas. It was like Christmas before.
Oh, because the timeline I remember because you came in the summer
Yeah.
and then you like had trouble with the ankle and okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. So Christmas. Okay, so Joey's not allowed at my parents' house because when when we
No, there's a lot
when
there.
when we were like, I think it was like 16 years old, like Joey would pick me up and like do a lot of the things for my parents. Like he would pick me up from like my work or my school, and then his only thing was like, "Hey, like I'll pick you up from work if we can hang out tonight," or "Hey, I'll pick you up from work a couple times this week if we can hang out all weekend." And my parents very much did just not like me having a boyfriend anyway. Especially my dad because he's like he's a little closer to conservative than I would like.
He
They
just
all
likes
kind
men
of are.
so much he wants them all to himself.
Well, he does work at a prison. Anyway, so and then like one time Joey and I had an argument because my mom was kind of being a little unreasonable. Because she was saying how manipulative Joey was because he would only, quote unquote, he would only pick me up if we got to hang out together.
Wow, how he wants to hang out with you. What
I
is
know.
wrong with Wow.
So, she said all that stuff. So I told him about it and he looked at me and like we had an argument and he said, and this was when I was like still a little brainwashed by my mom, but I was like starting to come out of it.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he was like, "You need to grow a backbone with your mom." And so then he drops me off at home. And I can't remember what started the argument, or I think I was like, "Hey, do you think like tomorrow or something like Joey can pick me up and then we can hang out since we didn't get to today?" And she was like, "Oh, well, why do you guys always need to hang out all the time? Like you're never here. Like why don't you spend time with your family?" Granted, the only really thing we did as a family was fucking eat dinner together, and like like I appreciated the fact that we had family dinners, despite the fact that like whenever one of us was in trouble, it was fucking awful to sit through because my dad, the entire dinner, like if you talked or showed like any bit of joy, he'd like make a snarky remark about whatever you did wrong or whatever they were mad at you about, and immediately would try to take the smile off of your face.
Yeah.
Because if you're in trouble, you're not allowed to have any joy whatsoever. But so he anyway, so I go home and my mom's saying all this shit and we argue and then she leaves. And so at this point I'm like I can't get in good with Joey, I can't get in good with my mom, I can't do anything for anybody. And Gabriel's standing there, my beloved brother Gabriel.
I love when he's brought into this.
It's he's the fucking like pot stirrer, I fucking swear. And I look at him and I'm crying and I'm like, I feel like I can't make anybody happy. And like, I'm trying to like be vulnerable to my little fucking brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me, he goes, well, why not? Like, what's the matter? Like, what's going on? And I told him, I was like, I can't make mom happy. Like, she says this, this, and this. And I was like, and I can't make Joey happy. He wants me to grow a backbone with her or said that or whatever. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Next day, um, I'm in the car with my mom and she goes, so I heard that Joey told you to grow a backbone with me. I think that's very disrespectful. You need to break up with him. So, some kind of those, like that kind of shit.
Uh-huh.
I was like, no, I'm not breaking up with him. And she was like, well, you're lucky I'm not going to tell your dad because I don't need this to be a whole big thing. But, this needs to not like he needs to get a little bit of respect, a little bit of discipline. And she used to talk all the time about how maybe Joey should go into the army to learn a little bit of discipline because that's what she thinks is best. So anyway, surprise, surprise, she tells my dad the next day.
Whoa.
And Joey, and at that point, like I had something I was gonna go do with work. We had like a team building thing. And I was invited. I was super excited. This was my first place of work. It was a vet clinic, even though I was just a kennel assistant. I was super fucking excited. I liked the people there. I was surprised I was even invited. I had already like submitted. It was like painting our pet, so I had already submitted a picture of my pet that I wanted to paint. And Joey was gonna drive me because my mom said that she would not drive me because, like I said, she didn't like to take us anywhere.
She just bought?
Yeah. So Joey comes and he comes to pick me up. And my parents are talking to me, pissed off about the Joey thing. And again, we're 16 fucking years old. And my dad, they go, well, we want to talk to Joey. Tell Joey to come in here before you guys leave. So I'm like, okay. So I go and I bring Joey in and I sit down and they like give us this big long lecture. And Joey, like Joey does not like being lectured.
Oh, I know.
And like, honestly, he could have done a lot. Like, he could have done a lot fucking worse. But all he did was sit there and look mad. He looked mad.
He looked mad.
He made a face. He
the
was
amount of restraint, like just that, like
you know
knowing
how
him,
Joey is.
yeah.
Like, yes. So like, he did that for me, and he looked mad. And my dad had the gall to look at this 16-year-old boy who looked mad because his girlfriend's parents, who had been giving him so much shit and trying to get his girlfriend to break up with him over basically fucking nothing, and are now like pulled him into the room to like basically fucking ambush him. My dad has the gall to look at him and go, you need to wipe that face or that look off your face. I want to hurt you right now. This like 40-year-old man says that to a 16-year-old kid and Joey was pissed. So I don't even think Joey even said anything. He was just mad. And he like, I don't even know if he walked out before my dad was done talking. Like, I think he let my dad finish talking or whatever. And he left afterwards, and like they wouldn't let me get in the car with Joey to go to my thing. They were like, you're just not going. I'm like, fuck that. Like, I'm already upset about this. Is like the first time I ever like disobeyed my parents full on. I like was screaming at them. I was like, fuck that. Like, my world is already like crumbling fucking down around me. My boyfriend's pissed at me. You guys are pissed at me. You guys are all pissed at each other. I'm like, I'm gonna go have fun.
Yeah.
I am gonna go. I was like, I'm going to go get in the car with him. And they were like, no, like, but if he gets crazy when he drives and he's mad. And I'm like, he literally has never done something like that to me. Like, shut the fuck up. They wanted to control me. So finally my mom was like, okay, I'll drive you. But, and this again, like, if it was me today, if it was me today in 16-year-old me's body, I would have just gone with Joey.
Yeah.
But I was still under their influence. I was still terrified of them. So I was like, fine. Like, and then my mom drove me the entire time. She's telling me to break up with them. She's like freaking out because I don't understand and I'm an entitled, selfish bitch and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's why my parents don't like Joey. Even
That's
though,
just the begin. That's just you need that to understand the big part of what's happening.
okay, where are we at? Broken egg. Okay. So
Yes.
I had to go to Christmas. So I have to go to holidays. I've been living with Joey for like a year or so at this point, and I had to go. I can't go to my parents' house with Joey. Like the most he can do is sit in the car in the driveway. And even then my dad gets grumbly about it. For a while there, Joey wasn't even allowed in the driveway. Um but so and I'm at my parents' house and we do the like I think it was my mom's side of the family was there and then next we were gonna have my dad's side of the family. So I was taking my presents or whatever that I got, putting them in my car, and I take the last load up there, shut and lock my car, and I start the walk back down the hill because I parked up where the barn was on top of the hill because I knew a bunch of family members were going in and out, and I didn't want to be trapped at my mom's house if I wanted to leave earlier because I think I still had to go to Joey's parents or grandparents' Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I at least wanted to spend some time with Joey on Christmas because, you know, he's my fucking significant other. Um, so I walk down the hill and I slip and fall, and I just hear it. I
Yep.
hear it, and my brothers are outside, and they fucking heard it. Like they didn't hear me fall; they heard the break,
Yeah.
and it was and they were fucking cracking like they're scared. They come over. I'm crying. I'm like, go get dad, go get dad. Gabriel runs, goes get dad, and that's how they deal with their like whatever their fear or whatever. They're both cracking jokes, making fun of me, and I'm hurting and I'm pissed. I'm like, get me to the fucking hospital. Stop making fun of me. Like, I was fucking pissed. So
Oh
my
my God,
dad
the
gets me into the
hospital.
car. Yeah. And so my dad gets me into the car and I call Joey. And as I'm calling Joey, my dad says to me, if you get Joey to come there, I am not staying, which I think is the most manipulative,
Mm-hmm.
stupid, shitty thing you could ever say to your daughter. No matter how much you hate your daughter's boyfriend, what the fuck? You're going to ditch her because she wants her significant other, who she lives with and who she's been with for like I think 4 or 5 years at that point, to be there at the hospital with her. And it was during COVID, so like nobody could actually come in other than me, but like I still wanted him there, like just in
Yeah.
case like I got released at Madison Health or whatever. Um, but yeah, so he he said that to me, and for a second I didn't say anything or do anything, and then I was like, fuck it. And I told Joey and he met me at the hospital. And my dad stayed out there. But then it's funny because then my dad, like after an hour of waiting on the parking lot, decides to just go home. Which whatever. And like I at that
Wasn't
point
that
I
like
found out
Christmas
like
Eve?
that was Christmas Day.
Oh, Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's
Because
nice.
his side of the family was coming, so he wanted to see his side of the family. So even though they all live in fucking Ohio. Um
Yeah.
But so at that point, I had found out I had free breaks, whatever. They say that I have to be transferred to OSU's emergency hospital just in case I need to go into emergency surgery, which I didn't even end up going to. And I spent so much fucking time there. It was fucking ridiculous. But anyway, so I go there and I punch my doctor in the back while he reset my ankle
Oh.
because it fucking hurt. But anyway, so like Joey picks me up. And at that point, my mom, like after that day, my mom tries to convince me to come home because I just moved out, I think that September.
Like move
She tries,
back in with them.
yes. And she was like, well, at least just for you to heal. And I was like, I don't want to. And she was like, well, how is Joey going to take care of you? Like, this is ridiculous. And you know who your family is. You know who's really going to be there for you.
Like 30 seconds
Jo-
ago when they left.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're like, Joey was there. Like he took fucking care of me for like I think it was like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 months. He was like the sole provider. Like he made more money than me anyway, but like he was the sole provider. He took care of me when he was home and he got me ice packs and he got me like my heating pad and he was always there for me. He always tried like I had mental breakdowns on the fucking daily. He always took care of me there. And Pap and Momo took care of me. Like Joey fucking jerry-rigged something on the stairs so that I could like because I didn't want to use the crutches up the stairs, but I needed to use the crutches to the bathroom. So I would crawl up the stairs and drag the crutches with me. He jerry-rigged like a pulley system so I could tie the thing onto the crutches at the bottom of the stairs, crawl up the stairs, pull them up, untie them, and then like go to the bathroom and then do the same thing going back down. Like he took care of me, and my parents were like, "Oh, well, we would have actually taken care of you, even though my bedroom was like there was half of it that was finished. That Gabriel got to live in that part. My part was the unfinished part of the basement that didn't even have a door to it.
Yeah.
I had to hang curtains up for privacy, but yeah. So that was funny. Anything to add?
That was I remember when that was all going down because it was COVID. Joey, like prime COVID, Joey was in the car talking with me about your parents and all that. Like I was getting to experience most of it live through
That's nice.
through phone calls, so that was interesting.
Fucking like Joey followed the ambulance to OSU and then sat there, and I didn't like this happened Christmas morning and I didn't get out until like I think after midnight.
Yeah, you were there for like
I was there for like all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah. Are we moving on to the next one?
I guess if you're ready, I mean, well, it's your list.
So, next one is bisexual by force. And this was from last year when we were at Massachusetts, and I still saw myself as straight. And I just said that I appreciated the female body, and you, Hunter and Joey, were on my fucking ass, and you were like, "You are definitely bisexual." And I'm
No,
like,
it's not just you going, "Oh, I can find this nice to look at." Or no, you were flirting with like every waitress,
I literally did not.
No, it wasn't just like, "Okay, here's my order." You were like, "So how was your day?" You would get into it with. You had somebody, I forget where it was, but it was like this redhead that you were talking to for a while. Yeah.
The 99 or whatever it's called.
I think so.
You guys said I flirted with her, but I think she was just nice. Brennan flirted with her. Brennan had a big, huge fat crush on her. It's better than you with Alejandro.
Okay. Not me. I can't even pronounce Alejandro. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, we were in the Michael's or Hobby Lobby parking lot waiting on Joey because there was like a GameStop right next door, and you were scrolling through Tinder, and then I see Alejandro, and it's like some either like trans or like male in like with makeup and like female clothing or whatever.
Like the genders like in bank or like gender fluid or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And and then it was Alejandro. And like this is totally fine. Like even if you were attracted to it, it's totally fine. But I didn't know if you were, and you paused on it and you looked at it for
I was like, what? I'm interested. I want to see what this is.
And then you like saw the next picture, and I'm sitting here like, it's Alejandro. Like, I'm pretty sure you're straight, Patrick. I don't know why I have to help you through this one. I said Alejandro. Like, I guess I could be like partially ignorant, but I'm pretty sure like Latina or Latino people, and like O is a masculine ending, A is a feminine ending. Alejandro is most likely a masculine person.
I guess based on the naming there.
But anyway, so yeah, you guys forced me to come out as bisexual.
No, that was not a force. It was just us encouraging that you.
Oh,
explore that part of yourself. Self-discovery.
Encouraging me that I'm wrong about my sexuality, and then I ended like, you guys were fucking right.
See?
I'm I'm not gonna go on the next one. The next one I'll tell you verbally.
Oh, it has to be verbal.
No, shut up.
That wasn't a joke of any kind. I'm just.
No, like, I will tell you something relating to this
Oh,
afterwards.
a little DLC expansion not included with this
Yeah.
podcast. Okay.
You have to pay
Okay.
us $50 a month to hear the DLC
Ooh.
conclusions. Okay. Next one. Asuna.
I've been waiting for this one. This is a good one. I have a few of them back here actually. Let me grab one. This is what we're talking about.
From what's
Sword
it called?
Art Online.
Yeah, Sword Art Online.
Very
I had already
anime.
watched like most at least like first 1 or 2 seasons, and for some reason you and Joey were getting really into it, which is fine. And
it
then
was like the
you guys were,
gamer anime, you know?
Yeah. And then we were talking. It was when like Joey and I like had recently like we were a few months into dating, and we were all sitting at lunch, and you guys were talking, and you guys started talking about how hot Asuna was.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, but like the last thing you need to say around your like especially newer girlfriend is like yeah, I probably overreacted, but like also.
Well, we were like in middle school too, so like emotions are high anyway.
Yes, like we're going through fucking puberty. But anyway, so and then I look at Joey and I'm like, I'm just looking for a little bit of validation, and I say, do you think Asuna is prettier than me? And he looks at me and he goes,
what is
like that? Like,
not even a word, he just does the gesture.
Yeah, he did that in front of me. And I was pissed, and he didn't even try to like make it better. He wouldn't even like, I'm just kidding or anything like that. And so like I was ignoring him. He didn't care. And then that was when he started talking about everybody's head shape at the table, and he looked at you, talked about your head shape, and he goes, "What head shape am I?" And I look at him, I go, "Dickhead." And he was not happy with me.
No, not a fan.
Hold on.
Oh, we got receipts or something?
No, this is like a face he made at you when he was pissed off at you, but
You just have that? You have a picture of him angry at me specifically?
Yes. Oh, do I not have it anymore?
Do you have a Joey folder? Do you have it all organized, labeled?
No, I just got. Okay, he made this face. This is from 8th grade. When he was
that's a classic. I like how he's wearing the like generic green Zelda shirt too. Like I avoid like I wear t-shirts, graphic t-shirts all the time. I avoid that specific one because of the meme, but I love that he's wearing it in that picture. That's great.
Joey. So yeah. Moving on to Jalen. Oh wait, no, hold on. With Asuna, after that, Joey and I like had a whole big fight, and I wrote a letter to Miss Truitt telling her all about it.
Wait, was it like an assignment, or you were just seeking guidance?
I was seeking guidance. And she wrote me back a letter saying how she thought that middle schoolers shouldn't be dating, and how she's so sorry for
I
me.
mean, if you're hit with a letter like that, I would think the same exact thing. Like, if I'm handed a letter and it's like, my boyfriend finds this anime girl more attractive, and told me, like, not just, oh, I'm kind of thinking he does, like, told me, I would just be like, you're not ready. Nope. Try again.
Thanks. Anyway, so Jalen. So Jalen is this big fat bully in middle school.
Lots of stories there.
She was known to be a bully. And anyway, so we were all in lunch line, and Joey was behind me.
I remember this.
And Jalen was like several people in front of me. And our one friend, I can't remember his name, but he dated Malia. um at one point. And then Levi Ashley was next to Jalen, and something happened between our friend and Levi. Um, and they started arguing, and Jalen started talking shit on our one friend. And I looked at her and I was like, stay the fuck out of it. It's none of your business. Shut your
Yeah.
mouth. And she looked at me, and her little posse were like, you shut your mouth, whatever. And I looked at her and I said,
Oh, this is gonna be good.
make, I said, make me.
Yep. No.
And she came over and like opera style. I watched Malia jump in front of me and go, don't you hit her. And Jayla went boom, and down Malia went like off
Oh.
the freaking floor. And then Jalen hit me, and all I remember seeing, like, I remember just looking at her and thinking, I can't throw the first punch.
Right.
And all I remember saying, like, I remember seeing, like, her lift up her fist, and then black.
Black.
And then I like, yeah, that was her punching me and me not
Oh.
being able to see anything. I didn't know that at the time. I thought maybe it was blinking or something like that. And then she does it again. And then again. And then probably one or two more times. And then the next thing I know, I think Sarah Sacchetti lunged at her and like threw her onto the freezer. And then like fucking Mr. Doss, I think it was, Mr. Doss grabbed me
Yeah.
by the shoulder and whipped me around. It was like, you're bleeding. And like rushed me to the nurse's office. And yeah, that was fun. I still didn't shut my mouth.
I mean, yeah.
And then
Did you not throw any punches then, or was it like you just weren't aware?
I wasn't I didn't even know, like I didn't even realize she was hitting me until the whole thing was over.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of funny because she had a ring on and that made my eyebrow bleed. But she
Oh.
was telling everybody around the school that I had to get like 18 stitches and she knocked me out. But really what happened was Mr. Doss like whipped me around, was like, "Oh my God, you're bleeding." Took me down to the hallway. Somebody brought Malia down to the hallway, and the entire time her and I were like goofing off and laughing about the whole situation. Um and then yeah, so and then Jalen's brother beat the shit out of Joey.
Because
I mean,
of just being related to the situation because he was dating you. There was like, I don't think he did anything or you did anything to provoke anyone. It was just like he was covering all bases with.
Yeah. Yeah, and Joey,
like also like a home base attack. Like
Lady.
Joey just walked out of his house and it was like
Happened.
boom.
well, no, because he was walking Hannah home,
Yeah.
and they walked by Jalen's house, and Jalen's dad set his brother and his brother's friends on him, and Joey kept telling Hannah to run and go get help, so she would like run a little bit, and her dumbass would turn around and look and like stand there frozen. He'd be like, run. She would run a little bit, turn around, stand there for fucking dumbass. But yeah. And then the next one is June 9th,
Oh,
2019.
all right, here we go. Just once again.
If you have something to say?
I don't know. There's like, you don't really transition. You're just like, all right. The next sentence is like another. You don't have like a conclusion. You're just like, oh yeah, then this guy died. Okay, and then.
Anyway, so June 9th, 2019 was probably until like semi recently one of the closest times Joey and I broke up. That was when
Ooh.
6 months before that, like remember the beginning of winter break,
Smash came out that
He-
time. Yes.
he ignored, like he went to his dad's house. I knew when he was at his dad's house he wouldn't talk a lot, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
he like didn't talk to me for 6 months, like literally ignore me. And then every time I would get him to talk to me, I would be like, hey, this is kind of upsetting me. And like he would gaslight the fucking shit out of me. Well, I can hang out with my friends. You can't tell me what to do. And then like one time, him and I made plans to hang out. It was on like a Wednesday after school, and he was gonna pick me up after school. And that means like typically, because I was at CTC at that time, typically when you're at CT, like you have to get. I had to run down the hill every day to get to the bus to get there on time
Mm-hmm.
to go to Northeastern. So like when we hung out, I stayed at the top of the hill and like that waited where the line was where people picked you up for him to get off school and pick me up. So I'm standing. It's 2:16. The bell rings. I'm heading out. I text Joey, okay, I'm waiting for you at the normal spot. And he goes, oh, I actually told my dad I would go hang out with him. I was fucking
Did you miss
pissed.
the bus?
No, thankfully, I ran down. I caught her just in
Oh,
time.
okay.
But so from that point on, I didn't talk to him anymore. And then June 9th is his birthday. And like that was the year that he was like about to leave his mom's house. And so like he was planning it, you know. But so June
Oh
9th
yeah.
comes around and suddenly he messages me and he wants to talk to me and he wants to hang out with me and basically catch up like old friends. And I'm like, I I don't want to talk to you. And he was like, why? And I was like, because after your birthday, I was going to break up with you. I wanted you to be able to enjoy your birthday. I didn't want to ruin your birthday. Tomorrow, I was
This
going to
is
text
new
you and tell you.
information to me.
Yeah. I said, I didn't want to be with you anymore. And we had a whole thing there where we like talked and he apologized. And then I went to vet camp later, or like earlier on the summer. And he kept wanting to talk to me. And I was like we were talking, we were trying to rebuild the relationship. And then he kept getting mad because I wasn't over it. I wasn't over the 6 months that he fucking ignored me. So he's mad because I wasn't over it super fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that one.
I believe the Kirby tier is the one we haven't gotten to yet for mine. Let's see.
Yes.
Let's get some. Okay, I'm gonna tell the like boring-ish ones first, and then the juicy ones after, just so it's like
Okay.
a good spread. So Springfield hook cans, basically, hook cans are a like headgear in Splatoon, and we made that Springfield hook cans as a name because me, Hunter, Brendan, and Jane did a Splatoon tournament, and like we had a team, and not a lot of people know that. I just thought that was a little interesting tidbit. We did one tournament, lost really badly, and then never played in a tournament again. But I mean, it was fun. The people were nice; they weren't assholes or anything, so it was a good experience. But um, this one I'm gonna have a lot of strong feelings about. GameStop Smash Bros. Incident. So clearly, I'm sure you can tell I like video games, and then they made Smash Ultimate the video game, and there was a special edition. And I was like, I'm gonna stay up and pre-order this. I need this in my life. So I stayed up whenever the pre-orders went up. It was sometime in September, because the game came out in December. So I pre-ordered it, and then like they released 3 amiibos. I pre-ordered those and the special edition. It was all set and whatever. Then, like 1 a.m. the day the game comes out, because I don't see it. I'm asleep. It's a school night. You know, I'm a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a notice, an oopsie daisy. Uh-oh. Pre-order is canceled because I forget, either my parents updated their card, because at the time I didn't have a card, I gave them cash and used their card. So either their card was updated or the card was invalid and they had a new card or something like that. But GameStop didn't bother telling me until the day the game came out. So they didn't ship it, they just canceled the pre-order. They canceled my amiibos, the special edition. I still don't have the special edition. Joey got me the Steelbook, I believe, that Christmas because he felt bad, but I don't have the whole. I'm not a fan of that. That's not like lore heavy, but yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah, I can tell. I would be pissed. I got Joey like, but he wanted like this Last of Us shit or whatever that was coming out, and
Oh yeah.
I pre-ordered it and then it never showed up, and so we were like, where like, because it was months later, so we were like, where did that like go? So we went back in my email and we found where like, because they didn't pull the money out, they just, and like when I first pre-ordered it, so then when like they went to pull the money out, there wasn't enough funds, so they just
Oh
canceled it, and I was like, great.
yeah. That's always. Yeah, I mostly just pre-order in-store with cash now, because, like, that's a more guaranteed than online, because that's all finicky and whatnot. But that
Hmm.
was not a fan of that. The Jigglypuff incident also relates to Joey. For those of you unaware, there is a move that Jigglypuff has in Smash Bros. Where they it's called Rest. It's a move in Pokemon, but in Smash, it has a high, like, you have to be on the opponent's head model, or like the head hitbox, and you have to, when you use the move there, it like has a high launch rate, it kills early, whatever. And I sometimes when I play Smash with Joey, I just play random whatever, and I got Jigglypuff in all 3 of his live stocks. I killed him with this move, and it's not that I won or 3-stocked him or did this move, but it's the fact that I did it with the intention of messing with him that made him mad. So it was like 4 months later. The
He's
first,
so fun to mess with, though, especially because he fucks with us.
well, yeah, but um, because I was, when I came to visit like months later. This was like recently too. He just punched me, and I was like, "What was that for?" And then like, because he told me that he was gonna punch me. I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he did. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yes, I do remember that.
ooh, these next few ones are maybe not
Or
the.
like, or like the one time that you came and visited us in Ohio, and you left your drink in his fridge, and he said, "This is gonna be there until you come back," and it
Yeah,
was.
I think. Well, that was like tea, Taco Bell tea, whatever. But like, what, like maybe a year. It could have possibly been a year later. He's like, "Okay, now you got to drink it," but he was kidding. And
Yeah.
I thought he was serious. I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I started drinking. He was like, "What are you doing?" But
I remember that too, because I think
yeah,
I was there.
it wasn't tea at that point. It was like fish food flakes of
That's
it
gross.
was slimy. But birthday cat vomit this year on my birthday, a week ago. What's today? Monday. A little less than a week ago, I woke up about 6:30 a.m. on my birthday to this like dry heaving sound. You know when you wake up, you're not like really there. You're like, what's, like, people are talking weird if they're trying to wake you up, and like the cats obviously sleep with me and Brennan, and I just
Hmm.
hear this like coughing, hacking, whatever. I'm like, oh great, the cat's throwing up, but it's a little louder than like a usual throw. I'm like, are they that sick? But then I like move a little bit, and I feel the cat that's throwing up, and I'm like, that's at me. And as I'm thinking that, wetness just on my arm, on my bed, like just
Nice.
vomited all over me on my birthday. And then I'm like, what the hell? And then the cat runs away. And then I just went back to sleep. I just fell back asleep because
God,
I was like,
God,
fuck that. It's my birthday. I'm going back to sleep. And then I wake up and I forgot about it. I'm like, why's my arm wet? Oh, yeah. And that was gross. Disgusting.
that's a little gross. Shit, I have the hiccups now.
Well, maybe I thought I was like dreaming. I was like, oh, I'll just, yeah, that's a dream. That's weird. But that was real. Which of these would you like first? The tender one or the sink one?
Sink one.
So the hot dog vomit in the sink. I I don't get sick, but when I get a headache, I'll vomit if I don't treat the headache.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually if the conditions aren't perfect to what I need them to be, it seems. So we were at Joey's house, like in middle school, staying up playing Minecraft or whatever the kids do. And we had eaten a bunch of hot dogs. Not like enough that it would be too much to handle, but we had some. And I'm using his bathroom because I'm thinking, oh, I got a headache. Something must have to come out the other end. And, you know, when you have to use the bathroom, you're just kind of sitting there doing this, waiting for it to be over. I start to feel it not going out that way, but trying to come up this way. And I'm like, okay, now I need to make a plan. Like, I'm aware it's happening. I've moved to the acceptance. Once you've reached acceptance, it's a lot easier to just deal with throwing up. So then, let me give you the map. I'm on the toilet. The sink's over here, and the door's over here. That door's not important. I don't know. Anyway, the sink's over here. I'm over here. And then it starts moving a little quicker. It's got like a speed boost or something. I'm like, shit, I need to vomit. So I like use the force of the shit flying out of my ass as like a propeller to the sink,
Oh my God.
and I should have put a warning before this one, I guess. Then I vomit. Like, imagine a hot dog cut into thirds. That's how big like, they looked like hot dogs. It wasn't just like a
Jesus
soapy mess.
Christ. Why did you not like chew them?
I don't remember. But I threw up in his sink, and I was like, oh, I threw up in his sink. And then, finished business numero uno from earlier. And then I go back to the sink, and I'm like, run the water a little bit, try to make it look a little better. And then the sink starts not putting the water down, and it just kind of becomes a pool. I'm like, I should probably get someone. So I like turn off the sink, flush the toilet. That's not working. So a little plunging, and then fix that. That's fine. Joey's mom ends up having to get a coat hanger to like get scoop out of the sink, because believe it or not, hot dogs don't go down the sink too well. They're not meant for that. So I think from that day forward, Joey's mom hasn't liked me since. Which, like,
I wouldn't like you either.
it's valid. I'm not gonna argue with it. It's a valid reason to not like a kid anymore. But
We all know she didn't like Brennan.
huh? Oh,
I
because
said
he's
we all know
afraid of the
she doesn't
dog.
Yeah.
So, Tender live events. This is a good one. It might include a few. So, we would all sit in a group. This was rather recent too, and I would live stream or airplay Tender onto the TV. Me, you, Joey, Hunter would all just like be swiping through, and I guess because it's a live event, because everyone's experiencing it at the same time. And as I was doing it, I think you guys picked up on my tastes and interests. Like in women, which you could throw a guess out there, just based on if you remember
Um,
from
for
that.
some reason you always like the outdoorsy chicks, but you
Outdoorsy?
do like you always pick the ones like that had like I'm a hiker, I'm an adventurer, whatever like that. But anyway, physically they were
Oh, a little muscly,
yeah, a little buff.
little
They had the
buff.
same taste as Garrett.
Nah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the same. Similar, but not the same. There's
Mhm.
it's a little
Mhm.
it's gray area, but
Uh-huh.
it's fun to do that with. I think it's fun to do that with friends. But you guys are like, oh, it's a girl on the what? Or like randomly, like a bisexual man will pop up or something, and you guys be like, oh, are you like boys or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. The Sonic tier. Let's see what. Maybe I should address Sonic roleplay. So this is about
I'm a
Hunter
little scared
also.
for this one.
So in like 5th grade, prime being a Sonic fan, me and Hunter at recess, and I think with a few other kids, would pretend to be Sonic characters, and Hunter hates this story because he doesn't like people knowing that he used to like Sonic or whatever. But I would be Sonic, he would always be Tails. We'd run around, do the little like arms behind your back kind of thing. Everyone would look at us like we're outcasts, because we were. But
You had fun.
huh?
You guys had fun.
Yeah, we definitely had more fun than like people. People would always just pretend to be older than they were, because it was like what, 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah. Everybody wanted to
Be
be
mature and everything.
mature.
Yeah. But that's a cute little story. Poopy porn. This one needs a little. So
This one is the one I'm most scared about on this tier.
it's not what you think, but me, Joey, Brennan, and Hunter are hanging out at Hunter's house. It's like 3 a.m, not a fight, just hanging out, trying to decide what to watch on YouTube. Everybody's a little loopy. Not like none of us did substances. This was just naturally loopy.
Like
From-
slap happy.
Yeah. And Joey was like, anybody know like what we should watch, any suggestions? And no hesitation, no like moment of silence or no other suggestions brought up.
Oh my
Just-
god.
Like milliseconds after that, I just said poopy porn. And the room just like, you could feel everyone's like aura just like changed colors a little bit,
Oh my
and like
God.
all look at me at the same time and be like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know what I said," but then they made it like they thought that was a fetish I had or so. I just said that for some reason. I've never seen,
You were trying to be funny and it backfired on you.
huh?
You were trying to be funny and it backfired
I
on you.
think that might have been what it was because I was like, "Oh, porn's funny. What could I use to describe like what would be a funny porn to watch?"
Okay, I see.
But yeah. So I think up even till now, not people, but Joey and Hunter think that that's like my thing is poopy porn.
Hold on, I can ask him. Joey, um, do you think Patrick's thing is poopy porn? Well, you're clear there. He doesn't think your thing is poopy porn.
Okay.
We have a whiteboard on our fridge, and he comes out and he mouthed to me. He was like, "Are you almost done?" And I went,
Yeah.
"Me, like maybe about like halfway." And he goes and grabs the whiteboard on our fridge and comes over and stands above the
I
thing and just
literally didn't
holds.
notice you doing that.
Yeah, he stands like behind the computer, so you wouldn't be able to see him.
Yeah.
Um, and he wrote, "I'm hungry" on it
He went
and
into the
stood there and
kitchen.
pouted.
He went into the
Yes.
kitchen.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the guest star, Joey Kilgore.
Um, little Easter egg in case nobody caught it earlier. Brendan had walked in. I don't think anybody like where
I
my
didn't notice
this
it.
hand right here. I kind of waved him off like this. I noticed I was on camera doing it. So if you noticed that little Easter egg, congrats. There's, I guess, but um,
I feel like I know what the 2DS chair incident is about, but I can't quite remember it.
it's not like Joey and Hunter are not tied to it at all.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
But okay, I think this is like a tale, like a little bit longer than most of my tales. So, well, you know, as a kid, you don't have much money and you want the new video game, whatever. I wanted a 3DS to play Smash 3DS because I didn't think I could ever afford a Wii U, and a 3DS was way more likely I could save up for that. So a whole summer, save up, and then they have this 2DS, which is like the budget 3DS, and I'm like, holy shit, I can get this and play Smash on it. So I did. I got Pokemon Smash, you know, everything, and it was everything I could ever hope and dream of out of a system. And me, Brennan, and Tucker were sitting there in the game room, and then we're called downstairs for dinner or something, put our games down, go downstairs. Somehow, and I'm not one to just leave my shit on the floor, but somehow the 2DS was on the floor under like a chair that's like foldable. It was under a chair leg of that because we didn't have actual furniture in the game room. I don't know, like I wouldn't put it there. I don't. So anyway, it was under a
Maybe one of the cats knocked it over.
maybe. I was making sure it was still recording. There's like 3 screens, but so this 2DS is under this chair leg, and I notice it as Tucker goes to sit down. And this isn't. I don't think he didn't mean to. Obviously, you wouldn't just break somebody's DS, but he's like plopping down. He's like ready to sink into this chair after dinner, and just like when you said you heard your ankle crack,
Yeah.
the 2DS just had like this crack, and it was like it had Sonic Generations in it, so like it played like a rundown like Green Hill Zone theme. It was like
Aww.
like something dying, and
Yeah.
and all of us just stare at it, move it carefully, and it was in sleep mode, so I took it out of sleep mode and just like it looked like a huge crack across both screens. And I'm not even like I cried. I like broke down. This is like because I worked for it, I saved up for
Yeah.
this. Basically, it was my life at that. I don't know. It was in 6th grade, 7th grade, and I was
Yeah.
just so upset about it. And then my parents were like, "Oh, why are you so upset? It's just a video game. You can get another one later or something." But like, I didn't get one until I don't know. It must have been like not a year, but like just under a year until I got another one.
You knew Tucker before high school?
Yeah, he lived on my street. We knew each other since like preschool.
Oh. You just didn't really start hanging out with him a whole bunch that I noticed until Marching Man when he started ditching us.
No, like most of my Smash Brawl playtime was between me and Tucker's houses, but
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, my 2DS was broken. I was devastated. Brendan let me use his when he was on the Wii, and then
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't have nothing to play, but I was still like upset I couldn't
Yeah,
play.
because that's what you wanted to play at that point in time. I get it.
Yeah, and it was new at the time. I
It's like when my phone just finally decided to die,
oh yeah,
and every time I wanted to like watch YouTube or something, like I could definitely do that on the TV or on my computer, but I wanted my my phone to
yeah.
watch YouTube on.
I the 2DS is what I would watch YouTube on too, because like you know, you don't have.
Hmm.
I didn't have a computer. I had that, so
Yeah.
um, that was devastating. But I got like I think when I graduated 8th grade, my my aunt Patty and I think my parents also chipped in a bit to get me that as like a gift, like another
That's
DS.
sweet.
Um, and then I still have that one functioning. I want to fix the other one. I think I know the problem, but that's another thing. Anyway, let's see. The sunburn incident. You were here for this. When were you here? I know Hunter and Joey were. I don't remember if you were. When we
I gotta start telling the story.
um, but we go to the beach. You know, beach trip. And my dad's like, guys, put on sunblock. So you know, I put a little here, a little here. Take off my
I
shirt.
think this was the year before I went because
Yeah.
when I went, you guys were like, we're putting on sunscreen on the beach.
Yeah, we didn't play around anymore. But I didn't I didn't put any on my back because I think everyone else was excited and it was already like gone off swimming, and like I didn't
Hmm.
think too much of it. I was like, oh, I might sting for like a day or two, but
Uh-huh.
then I go into the ocean, and turns out when you're at the ocean, the sun is like kind of on you a lot. I didn't reapply sunscreen at all. And then after, like on the way home, I'm like, man, it's a little stinging already. Like, setting it a little soon. Like usually you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, my arm's a little sore, but it's like
Yeah.
it already felt like a French fry turning black in the stove or something on my back. I'm like, that's so freaking weird. And then I wake up the next morning and it feels like I can't get up. Like my legs can move, but my back and the muscles in this area couldn't move. And I was like, what the hell? And then I go and look in the mirror. I wouldn't even say it was red, but it was bad. It was the like I would be surprised if I don't get skin cancer bad.
To be fair, Joey and I, before we went to Massachusetts, had our own sunburn incident because his mom had just gotten a pool, and we went,
Oh
and like
yeah,
we went in like the afternoon, evening-ish,
yeah.
and then we stayed there pretty late, hanging out in the pool. And well, I don't think any of us put sunscreen on. And like that's the reason I have like so many freckles on my shoulder now is because like I used to not have like any freckles or anything on my shoulder. And then we went to the pool and we were fucking like we were so I think we were still sore when we went to Massachusetts, and I think that was like
Oh
at least 2 or 3 weeks out. But then we get in like the shower the next day, and sometimes Joey and I shower together. I know that makes you so uncomfortable. But
before
he
marriage.
goes, yeah. And he goes something along the lines of, "All right, we just gotta scrub our sunburn." And I was like, "Do not scrub my fucking sunburn." And he was like,
What?
"No, that's how you help it, is you
What?
scrub the sunburn." And I was like, "Don't touch my skin with that loofah." And
Oh
he was full
no.
on coming at me with this fucking loofah, and
Yeah.
he was like forcing me. And I was like, "Wait, what?" Like it fucking hurt. It burned. Like it burned worse.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, "No, fuck this. Let me look it up." So I looked it up, and it said literally the worst thing that you could do for a fucking sunburn is fucking scrub it. I was so fucking mad at him because he had just scrubbed me clean in the shower.
Yeah.
I fucking hated him.
I when that happened, my sunburn, I couldn't wear a shirt for like 2 days. Like it just hurt to wear a shirt. It was
Hmm.
bad. And then
Yeah, and I was
Hunter and Joey were super pissed because like, oh, we can't go anywhere because Patrick hurts too bad.
shitty.
But that's now I know to put on sunblock. Learn that. God, was I
Especially at the
probably
ocean.
19? What?
I said, especially at the ocean.
Oh yeah. Uh, which of these would you like to hear first out of the remaining two in this tier?
Algebra.
Algebra. This is a
Mm-hmm.
classic. So, college begins in 2020, and
Pandemic.
pandemic, whatever, online school. Everybody's trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. But I mean, colleges have had online classes before, so it's not too different there. But
Mm-hmm.
I had this algebra class, like college, just generic algebra, whatever, and it was set up to everything was due the last day of the semester. Everything, every homework, every exam, test, whatever, everything was due the last day. What? What are you laughing at?
Okay, so here is Berman on the chair, and then
Yeah.
there's the cat. And the cat, he's pouting right now because he just tried to climb on the chair. And he only has 3 legs. He just tried to climb on the chair and he grabs onto it, and then he started to slip, and then he grabbed onto Bourbon's tail. And he just flopped over. And he's pissed now because he's just sitting there. He fell off of the chair. That was the funniest shit I've seen all fucking.
He
I'm
looks rather
sorry.
angry.
Yeah, he was. Hold on, he might try to do it again.
Well, now he
He's
has a
looking at me
spectator.
now.
He's not going to do it now.
Yeah, he knows I'm making fun of him. All right, go ahead.
Um, so yeah, everything was due the last day of the semester, which was like, I don't know, December 22nd. And I keep kind of like, because, I'm trying to do assignments for other classes, I keep kind of putting it off, not really thinking about it too much. November rolls around, I'm like, I should look at that homework in algebra class, and then I don't
Yeah.
really. Then it becomes 3 days before Christmas Eve, and I'm like, okay, I haven't done a single thing in this class. So I sit down, and I'm not even kidding, it's like a day or two before grades are due, like I can't do anything else for this class ever.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down, I put on like a 10-hour loop of some Mario Kart Wii music, and I crank out this entire class in like 16 hours straight. Just like, I mean, I would get a drink of water or go piss or something, but I just sat there and just did this whole class. And I got an A- in the class. Like, that
Fucking
was my
awesome.
final grade. And then and my mom was like, "Well, what did you learn about waiting to do your homework?" I was like, "Nothing. I won. I didn't lose." So,
Yeah, I bet I could do that again and probably be fine.
exactly. But it wasn't fun, but I think it makes a good story, you know. Then comes the birthday incident. This is when I lived in Ohio years ago in like middle school or something. This was the birthday party I held where even though it may have been minor, everybody got injured in some way. To make a scale for you here, the highest injury was being bit by the dog. The lowest scale, or the lowest injury, was having a beach ball thrown at your face at like Mach 5, like pff. But the dog bite wasn't just out of nowhere. I think somebody brought a stray cat up to the dog and were shocked that the chained up dog reacted
Oh
to the
my
stray cat.
God.
Then there was like somebody tripped down the stairs, or like, I don't know, somebody ran into a wall or something. Like, everybody that attended got hurt in some way. Not too much, but just like enough that it stood out. But that was probably not one of my better birthdays, if I was going to be honest. And that's the Sonic tier. Did you like that one?
I did enjoy that one.
So what?
I have to say, so far my favorite has been the dog treat incident
The
story.
dog treat. I feel like it's because I didn't rush through that story. I just kind of told it at its pace. So I'm trying to like slow down and put in more details about what's happening. You know?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the next one?
Unison League is on
Oh,
there.
oh, I know. We're gonna get into that one. But
Awesome.
these are all good. So
Okay.
let's see. Safety patrol. That's probably the most blandish one on here. Is like 5th grade. I was the 3rd highest rank in, or not 3rd grade. Fifth. Did I say 5th grade or 3rd grade?
You said 5th grade.
Okay, I don't know why I thought it. Anyway, I was because I said 3rd highest rank. I was the 3rd highest rank in like, I don't know, out of 12, maybe
Mm-hmm.
10 kids. And safety patrol was just going out to like the singular street in South Vienna that has maybe one car driving past it after school, and like saying, "Hey, no, the kid's walking." But the
Mm-hmm.
kids never listened anyway. It was whatever. I don't know. I just thought it was like not a lot of people knew I did safety patrol. I had a little badge. I even I used the vest and badge to at my house. There was like a rainstorm. There was like a stray cat mom with like kittens, and we like took her out because she was in the ditch like getting flooded. So we took them out of that,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'm protecting them. I'm the safety patrolman or whatever. But you know, a
Oh,
little cute story, I guess. Let's see, Mario fan fiction. I okay. So not only did I indulge in reading Mario fan fiction, not bad fan fiction, just like cutesy ones, you know.
I read some of your fan fiction, so.
But I, just cutesy ones where like Luigi's like nervous about dating Daisy or something. That's what I would read. And then I started writing one. Like I wrote like a solid 2 or 3 page chapter. I didn't finish that, and that still exists out there. I'm not gonna get it right now, but of like Mario and Luigi going to play tennis, and Mario's like, "Oh, I'm gonna introduce you to this person, and it's all love story or whatever." But the little curse because fan fictions, but. So that's what that one is. The dropkick incident, I'm sure you're going to love this one. So, me, Joey, Hunter, I don't know if Brendan was there or not. He might have been. We were hanging out in Hunter's room, and this was during some argument of some kind. And this was before Hunter was out, and he had swimsuit posters in his room of, like, swimsuit models, which I think,
Mm-hmm.
which will come into play later.
They were his beard.
They were what?
His beard.
Beard?
Yeah, like
Is that a
how
saying?
everybody talked about in middle school how I was Joey's beard.
Hmm.
Like
I never
because
heard
they all thought Joey was gay, so they thought like I was his like
Oh, like the fake wife or something.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I was the beard of someone. That was my middle
Oh,
school boyfriend before Joey. His name was James, and
I think I saw that
um
on your list.
no, that's a
That's a
different
separate event.
that's a James you know.
Okay, I know who you're talking about then.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. That where was I? Oh,
Uh,
Hunter's
from,
room.
yes.
So we're all sitting in there. Me and Joey are arguing about something, and it's escalated a bit. Like Joey's like on top of me, like has me pushed onto the ground or onto the chair or something. And I don't know if he was like spilling water or like in my face or something, but just making me
Yeah.
super angry. And so
Yeah.
I finally got enough energy or force to like push him off me. And then I jumped up, and he calls it the ninja kick incident. I call it the drop kick. I guess it depends on who was getting kicked and who was kicking. But I like jumped up in full force, like with my leg, not to be too revealing, but like kicked, like jumped up and kicked him into the wall, like a good 4 feet distance. Okay, he went flying into this wall, right onto like on the wall hanging up was like 4 girls in swimsuits, and that came the fuck down when he came into the wall. And Hunter didn't seem to mind that, and we learned more about that later. But and then Hunter's dad comes in. He's like, "What's going on, guys? What was that noise?" And we were trying to pretend like nothing happened. Like Joey's in the wall still, and I'm like sitting there with like I'm not drenched, but I'm like a little wet from either Joey's spit or water or something, and Hunter's sitting on the bed laughing in tears. And we're trying to pretend that nothing is wrong.
Oh my God.
But so drop
To be
kicking,
fair, middle school and like early high school, Joey definitely deserved it.
it was a little more rambunctious era than that
Yeah.
time. But water spilling and drop kicking got banned that night. They weren't banned before, but that night set it in stone, I guess.
That's
Um,
awesome.
the STEM night shenanigan. I can't believe I even pulled this off, but I don't know the exact name, but STEM night was when you chose a project from the year or whatever and you presented it to people to prove that STEM was like a good school or whatever. And there was like a bunch of parents, grandparents, people that were just in the area who could come in and see your projects. And my plan was to help a teacher present like this class-made project. But when I got there, they had enough people, so I couldn't do that. And I didn't have a backup plan to show a project I had done, so I had nothing. So I then take the full 2.5 hours that you're supposed to be doing this, not mostly pretending, but a little bit pretending to be interested in other people's projects. Just walking around very slowly, talking, and I get full credit for this, like, because you're supposed to present. I get complete full credit.
What the fuck?
I don't know how I pulled that off, but because they had a bunch of teachers there. It wasn't like there was one teacher in the front and that was it. No, there was like constant surveillance. But that was a interesting night. I'm surprised I pulled that off. Donkey's a good one. Me and Joey, based on Shrek referring to in the, I don't know if anyone or if you have seen SML on YouTube, which is like a plush channel and they do videos or puppets or whatever.
That was where like, didn't you like guys hate that one because of the?
Oh, the disabled puppet.
Yeah.
This was a little before that.
Okay.
They had like Shrek on there, and he, no matter who he was talking to, Shrek would call whatever character it was Donkey, just like as a joke. So then me and Joey were like, that's a great fucking idea. I can't believe we haven't thought of this. So for like a solid year and a half, we only refer to each other as Donkey.
I remember that.
Whether it's we're talking to somebody else about the other person, then you have to be like Donkey, and they're like, who the hell are you talking about? Oh, Joey. But we would call each other it during serious fights, during like if we were in a school setting and we had to like do something, I don't know, whatever.
I could not imagine like when Joey and I get into like a serious fight if you just looked at me and called me Donkey.
No, but there was some fights, arguments, and we would call each other that. Nobody broke. I wouldn't call it breaking character, but nobody broke and started laughing. But that slowly fizzled out of our language over time. I'm gonna say
I'm surprised it wasn't like banned from your house.
I'm
like how how mom was.
Mom was banned. Dabbing was banned. I remember every time my mom would turn around, Joey would throw a quick one in there. Just, I don't know. And then
I fucking hated when you guys were obsessed with that. That was ridiculous. And then you guys would go,
That was a good era. I miss that was fun.
That was definitely us living our best life.
Speaking of best life, VBS/E3 week was a week in which, if VBS is Vacation Bible School, there's very little Bible involved in this story.
Remember when he loved Lucy?
Yes, but I feel that that's his little that could be on his iceberg. This is that's his story to tell. But my mom started, and I don't know why, because I was like a kid, I couldn't comprehend why I could have a week-long sleepover, but I wasn't going to be like, well, why are we doing? I was just like, okay. So he was able to come over for this whole week and stay over every night, and we'd go to Bible school for like 3 hours, 9 to 12, and then come home and play video games or whatever. And then we eventually kind of didn't, believe it or not, the Jesus puppet shows with squirrels faded out from our interests over time. And we E3, which is like for video game announcements, whatever, that lined up to the week that Vacation Bible School was.
Mm-hmm.
So we just started having that sleepover for watching E3 and stuff, and that was nice little time during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of the game room tornadoes and such broke out during those weeks.
Yeah, I think that's where I first heard of it because I was like on the phone with Joey at one point, and I think you guys were pissed off because he was spending so much time with me, God forbid. Um,
Probably.
and so you like started like fucking with him, and then he was like fighting with you guys, and he goes, "Hold on, Jordan," and then he did the tornado.
I don't think he did it to get revenge. I think he did it so that way I would have something to do.
Yeah, keep you preoccupied.
Yeah. Now, now we get into the good one, the one you've been waiting for, Unison League.
Yes.
When I thought SAO was the best thing to ever have been forged by mankind's hands, I was like, there has to be even just a rip-off game out there, something that's
Are
similar.
you the one that got us all into Unison League?
I believe I got Joey into it, and then domino affected from there.
Mm-hmm.
But I found Unison League, which is like a gotcha, not gotcha, but like you mostly pay to win, but you could play for free or whatever. And you could design your character, you could message almost anyone and talk to people, you could do fights like against not dragons, but like monsters or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, this is SAO, but for my phone or tablet or whatever. So much shit went down in Unison League. Like, fights or, like, talking about girls, and I'm not going to get into details there, but
That's when you and I got really close.
Yeah, because I don't know why we couldn't... Either we couldn't message on anything else, or I didn't have your phone number or something. Or I didn't have a phone, so I couldn't text you.
Yeah. And I think it's, like, I don't know why we just decided to randomly talk off of the group chat.
Yeah.
But we did. We did. And then we spilled some secrets.
Lots of... If my Unison League, like, data ever gets leaked and people... I'm gonna have to disappear. Like, there's so much there that I hope people don't find out about. But... And I think that was my first, like... Wow, I paused for an awkward amount of time there. That was my... I'm so sorry about that. That was, like, my first introduction to online friends. Like, there were people I would talk to that I didn't know. And definitely people pretending to be girls. But nobody I liked, but... Like, I would be like, oh, it's a girl playing a video game? Yeah, that was...
That's when it was so rare for you.
Uh-huh. Moving on from that, let's get to the little end here. Some of the better stories here. Let's see. Which listener's choice. Which one you need to hear of first?
I say the surprise slap incident.
Oh boy. So, me, Joey, and Hunter are hanging out at Joey's house, and me and Joey.
I know this one.
Yep. I didn't even get into detail. But me and Joey were in an argument, and Hunter was egging us on. He likes his entertainment. And in the
He's
middle,
such a fucking monster.
I know. In the middle of this heated argument, Joey's like, "Hold out your hands and close your eyes. I have a surprise for you." I was a dumbass. I just took it. I was like, "All right." So I hold out my hands, close my eyes, and lo and behold, across my face, the like Speed Force, the Flash, I don't know, just across the huge... It was a slap. I think it was more of a shock than it hurt. But I started crying. Believe it or not, I'm a boy and I cried. So I started crying. And then I think that's when Joey got a little nervous, because like at first he was like, I got him. But then he was like, oh, he's been in the bathroom for like 20 minutes crying. That's kind of weird.
I thought this was gonna be about the time that you guys were all in a heated argument, and then something happened, and Joey pushed Brennan, and you smacked Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the same time that not Garrett, your brother, but Garrett you guys used to hang out with pulled the knife?
There was a lot of high stakes emotions in that that was like a 10-minute situation, and then a lot of things unfolded. But yeah, I forget. I think he pushed Brennan in that situation. He pushed Brennan or something, and then I tapped his shoulder, and he turned around, and then I slapped him. So I guess I got him back. But um, yeah.
Oh my God.
So since we're already talking about me crying, the fear incident was at Hunter's
Oh
house,
God.
and I forget. I think this was back like when blood in movies or TV shows would still kind of scare me, and I was a little older, or like a little old to be afraid of that kind of stuff. But that's just what it was, and I think we were watching Tokyo Ghoul or something, which like a little bloody. Brennan was already kind of upset, and I was a little upset that he was upset, and I forget what the circumstances were, but I think Hunter was mad at me, and so he stood up really quickly, and then I just started crying, just immediately. He didn't do anything else. He just stood up, and I started crying. Then I ran into his bathroom. Like, you haven't lived if I haven't been at your house and just crying in your bathroom.
Hey, you haven't cried at my bathroom before.
No.
No.
I need to have that happen. That was like a
You
weird
also-
no, but what?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you also didn't clog our toilet like you said you were going to.
No, I don't know if I even. I'll have to. I'll have to have some Miralax or something next time. Anyway, so yeah, just Hunter standing up made me upset. There was, outside there was more. There was a build up. It wasn't just him doing that, but he did the final little
Push.
Yeah. I think I'll do Google Plus next and save the 3 a.m. for last. So Google Plus, I thought was just the best thing in the world. I was like, this is the perfect social media. It's like tied to YouTube. So many introductions to cursed internet content and like unfiltered internet access happened through Google Plus. Excuse me, I swallowed. That was awkward. Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, if you say it's awkward, then it's funny. It's not even awkward anymore. That's why I say it. But I still have a friend, like, online friend from Google Plus. Her name is Kim. But other than that, that was just a cursed era of, like, the worst Pokemon fans, the worst Mario fans. Just,
Was there like Pokemon and Mario porn?
there was probably not together, but like separate. Probably there was that.
When Joey, like when we were still watching Breaking Bad, I pulled up, I can't remember what caused it, but I wanted to piss Joey off, so I pulled up porn. I pulled up Walter White and Jesse porn,
Oh
and Joey was not a fan.
no, yeah. But yeah, that Google Plus was. I'm glad that I had it because now I'm still friends with Kim, and Kim's like great.
Look, shit, he's fallen again.
Oh, he fell.
He was trying to climb up the thing again.
Oh. But that. I wonder if they still have like where you could see your posts. Like, I can't even imagine what I used to talk about on there. But anyway, the last thing on my iceberg here is 3 a.m. fights. Now this is the one. This is the big one. This is the whale of this iceberg. I don't know how it happened, but heads would clash at every sleepover, and it somehow morphed into we would know the time frame that it would happen. And it was 3 a.m. That's when it would happen. But we wouldn't like go to bed earlier to prevent it. We wouldn't like just sit in silence to prevent it. We just knew it was coming. So we just kind of braced for it. It was more of just waiting for the impact than anything. And there's been some where like Joey had a hold of my amiibos and like dropped one of them or something.
Yes, I remember some of those.
Because yeah, you were definitely involved in like trying to make them end almost every time.
And I was almost always on your side.
Yeah, that made it worse though, because then he didn't like that. Oh, is he gonna get there? Yep.
He's victorious.
Um, I can't remember because a lot of the standout ones I think I put on here, like the amiibo fight team or whatever, but eventually the fights kind of stopped, and now I think they're just kind of in short bursts, but we don't realize it because they're just in short bursts.
Hmm.
But when it
We're
was
almost
scheduled,
done.
oh wow,
No, we're not.
who are you talking to?
No, you're gonna go get it if you want it. We go get it. I'm not going by myself, please. Okay.
So that's that's all public now. The everything on my end of the iceberg. Um, do you want to switch back to yours, or what are you
Sure.
feeling? Sure, let me
Yep.
do that. All right, yours is up there. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, I see it. All right. So we stopped at the one line. Okay, so I'll start with a gate because the gate's not that bad. I probably should put him. He was the cat that I got because um so obviously we had Bourbon and Lady
Mhm.
that I brought home with no permission from Joey. Um and then when we moved into the apartment, Joey's been talking about wanting a cat, wanting a cat, wanting a cat. So I got him Obsidian, who we thought was a female because he wanted to name a cat Ellie
Yeah.
and name well, we found out it was a male like after a week of having him. So we named him Obsidian. Well, the cat like Joey wanted the cat to love him the most, so like I did like most of the like not fun jobs and he got to do all the like loving on the cat and like making the cat like him and I like told him what to do. But like Joey would literally not let me have any fucking fun with the cat whatsoever. So this cat comes in, client brought it in. So I work at a vet clinic, work at an urgent care. And with this cat, he's like, look, I have several cats of my own. My wife and I just like take care of the strays and try to trap, neuter, and release them. Well, we've been taking care of this like these couple of kittens recently and feeding them and whatnot, and waiting until they're old enough to take in and get neutered. Um, and this one has been limping, and we can't really afford anything, so we're probably gonna have to euthanize like if it's something bad. So Dr. Gersh was like, okay, well, why don't you go ahead and let us take it off your hands and we'll give it a good life, give it vet care. So
Mhm.
he was more than happy and I was like, I'll take it home to foster because Joey and I were talking about possibly going ahead and getting another cat. Because Obsidian would like come out only when like if like we played meow sounds. So and he would like try to meow to find his like litter mates. So we thought maybe he needed like someone to socialize with.
Mhm.
So I brought a gate home and I surprised Joey with him and I was like, we can't like I know we can't keep him. He's just like to foster to help Obsidian come out of his shell more. And Joey took one look at him and was like, we can keep him.
Yeah, that's how cats go usually.
That's how all animals go.
Yeah.
Um,
And then you cut off his
so
leg.
yeah. Okay, and then bed bugs. So um
Oh,
that's
this is good.
semi-recent. Joey and I were living at his grandma's house. There's more information on that with the car title and getting kicked out of the house.
Mhm.
We didn't get kicked out of her house. Obviously, you know that, but I'm letting whatever our future audiences know that. But so anyway, so um, it was literally this spring. I was working. Joey was finishing up school. We had already put like like our deposit on like this apartment that we have now, and we were just waiting to move in together in June. Well, that like late May or late April, early May, my car like broke down and my grandparents live 15 minutes away from my work, so I stayed there and for a couple of weeks. And when I came back, Joey came back from school, and him and I noticed that Momo and Jonathan, who's Joey's cousin, who was
Mm-hmm.
living with us at that point too, um, kept sleeping in the living room. And we would ask them about it, and Momo, like Jonathan, would be like, I don't want to be stuck in my room all day. Okay, just don't be in your room all day. Like you don't have to sleep in the living room. Like we weren't bothered by it, but we were curious, and their answers didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I think we asked Momo, and she looked at Joey, and she was like, "Well, you don't pay the bills. Why do you care?" Okay, I guess we don't. Um, so Joey and I like went through like normal. Well, then one day Joey goes to Jonathan. He's like, "Hey, can I use a controller?" And Jonathan's like, "Yeah, just go in my room." So Joey goes into Jonathan's room and grabs a controller,
Uh-huh.
not thinking any more of it. A week or so later, it is like 1.5 weeks until we move out, and I like we have like half of our shit packed. I'm at my mom's house spending the last little bit of time with them. And then I go to drive home and I get a call from Joey. Like I'm not even 10 minutes from home because my mom lived about 30 minutes away. I'm not even 10 minutes from home at this point, and I get a call from Joey and he goes, "Guess what I just learned?" And I was like, "I don't know what." He was like, "We have bed bugs." And I was so mad. And so we heard like basically what happened was Jonathan was throwing a fit while they were cleaning out the garage because Joey's trying to get the garage cleaned out for Momo before we left.
Yeah.
And Jonathan was helping, and Jonathan was throwing a fit because he ran out of weed.
Ah.
And he was throwing a fit, and he was like, "I can't even sleep in my bedroom." And Joey was like, "Why can't you sleep in your bedroom?" And Jonathan, "Because we have bed bugs." And then he told Joey not to tell anybody.
Ah.
Well, then Jonathan goes out to the barn, or Joey went out to the barn. Something happened where one of them left the other one, and Joey called me and told me what happened. And Momo had been keeping it a secret. So we called a bunch of people, we called around, we made a plan. Joey ended up calling Momo. Well, Momo was pissed because he called her and she had Carly, his other cousin, the cousins that
Mm.
lived down the street from us, in the car. She was taking her to her game, and she was pissed off because she didn't want Carly and her parents to know about it. Which I think if you're going to be driving like someone's kid around and you
Yeah.
have bed bugs, like you should be completely honest. Like,
What?
fine, you don't want to tell anybody, don't be driving their kid around. Like,
Yeah.
don't put them at risk too. So, anyway, so we all wait for her outside, and we wait for her, and she comes in, and she's pissed, and all she can think of is to be pissed at Joey and me, and she's just talking shit the entire time. Like, granted, like I'm sure there are things that like we've done or like that she didn't like while we were living at her house, but like she wasn't the best landlord either. Um, and so like yeah, so we had that whole big argument, and basically we told her she was gonna spray the house down for free and spray all of our shit down for free, like she was gonna pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were pissed because we were just about to move into our new apartment and this fucking happened.
Yeah.
So that's the bed bug incident. Next one. I don't know which one I should do first because they're kind of related. So I guess I'll just do both of them in one.
Yeah.
Um,
Are they the same story or there's like a side thing?
they're like, I mean, they're connected, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. Anyway, so I obviously have a strained relationship with my parents
Whoa.
and my family in general.
This is coming in as a shock.
And obviously, so does Joey. He has a strained relationship with my parents as well. So, I finally got sick and tired of it. And Joey and I had been talking all summer, and he was like, look, you're 19. Like, I've talked to Momo and Pap about it. Just come and move in with us. And I finally agreed. I could not take it anymore. There were so many things that happened.
Yeah.
I think what finally broke was I had to go to work. It was over summer. I had to go to work and be a kennel assistant. And my mom and I were fighting about something. And I'm a 19-year-old. I'm a fucking an adult. And I wasn't screaming at first. Like I was telling her how I felt. Like, and I was still very much under their thumb. Like, I still listened to them. I still followed their roles. I still did everything they told me to do. But I, it was a lot about like spending as much time as I was with Joey, all that kind of stuff. And like, she just made a bunch of excuses for it. And she just basically wanted to be controlling. So we were having a fight, and it was down in the basement. And I can't remember, like, I was standing in the way to my room, and I think she wanted to go in my room for some reason. I'm not entirely sure, but I refused. I was like, no, like, you don't get to just come into my room or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm allowed to have privacy. I think we were arguing something about that. Again, I don't know, like, I don't remember exactly. But then where like she starts raising her voice, and I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like I deserve more respect. And like she always would call me, like she would tell me how much of a bad kid I was, and then she would like try to guilt me by saying like how much I thought she was a bad mom
Mm-hmm.
when I would never say those things. And she would be like, you're telling me this and this and this. And I'm like, I fucking never said that. I just told you that I wanted to be treated like a human being. I never said that you were a bad mom. I just said, hey, like, you'd be a better mom if, like, I never even actually said that, but you know what I mean? Um, so we were having that fight, and I raised my voice back because I was a fucking adult, and
Uh-huh.
I wasn't gonna let her talk to me like that anymore. And she just slapped me really hard right across, like,
Oh, I forgot about
so,
that.
yeah, so
Oh my
hard that my like
God.
jaw was like it fucking stung, and then it was sore. Like I felt like it didn't necessarily dislocate because I feel like it would have hurt a lot more than that, but like
Yeah.
it felt like it was about to, or it got close to, because like for the next 2 or 3 days it was fucking sore.
Did it like
And
like feel like it swelled?
a little bit, yeah, like there was a bruise on the side of my face.
Ugh.
And um and I think I said I was gonna call the cops.
I think I remember you almost like charging,
Yeah.
like putting a charge on your mom or something.
Yeah, I think I told her, I was like, I'm calling the cops. And she flipped out when I said that. And she was like, okay, I'm fine. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have hurt you. And like she started acting like
Oh
the victim
no.
again. And then I was like, I have to go to work. Take me to work. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So then she drives me to work the entire time. She's telling me how sorry I am, but basically why I deserved it. Um, all of the shit. And so yeah, that was finally, I was like, yep, I'm moving in with you. So, okay. This is leading into the actual story. So finally, like I had saved up enough money with my own job. She wasn't paying me. My job at Sheffield, I had saved
Mhm.
up like over like $1,000, and my dad had found the 1999 Toyota Corolla that's still downstairs in our apartment complex parking lot. Um, she's still fucking running. And he found that, and he told me, and she was like $1,200. I saved up enough money for it, and then they ended up getting it for me for like $1,000. I paid for it, but like they got it down to $1,000.
Yeah.
They put it under their name because I was at work or school or one of the two, and so on and so forth. Well, at that point, I had decided that I was leaving. I hadn't gotten my license yet because my mom, like, they kept blaming me, telling me I wasn't trying to get my license, but every time I tried to drive, every time I tried to actually go take the test, they like there was some excuse why they couldn't take me or why they couldn't let me. So Joey's grandparents actually ended up taking me to get my test in the middle of COVID. But anyway, so um she so I got my license. I finally had my car. I got to drive for the first time. So I knew I was leaving at like beginning of September, and it was like late August. And I kept like bothering my parents. I was like, hey, like I really want to get my car in my name, all this, all that. And she was like, well, that's fine and all, but you realize you're gonna have to pay for it, and then you have to pay for it again in a year. I was like, that's fine. Like I just want it. I just want it in my name. I'm really proud of it. And like she was super suspicious. I was like, I just want it in my name. Da 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 da. Well then, fast forward, I get it in my name the next day. I think I sat them all down and I said, I said, I'm leaving and I'm gonna go move in with Joey and his
Oh,
grandparents.
you not even just I'm leaving. You gave the worst news they could have heard, I guess.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And shit went down. My mom started screaming and telling me how pathetic I was and how I was mooching off of his grandparents and him and how he talking shit about Joey. And my dad was like, I'm disappointed in you. And they were like, yeah, we hate Joey, but if you guys were getting an apartment by yourselves together, we would chip in and help you find a place and help move you in, but we just can't support that. And then I think a couple of days they were asked me when I was gonna move in. I said I think I told them a day. And I think like 1 or 2 days before I was actually planning on moving in, um, my my mom and I got into yet another fight because we had gotten into several fights about me moving in with him.
Mm-hmm.
We got into yet another fight, and it got heated again. And she she basically pulled the like, when someone says like, oh, I quit, and then the company's like, no, you're fired.
Oh yeah.
Like she pulled that. She was like, well, guess what? I'm kicking you out. So go be with him. And I was like, okay, I will be back to come get my stuff another day. And I started to pack my shit.
Yep.
And she comes back downstairs and she's like, no, please stay. Da, da, da. And I was like, no, like this is abusive. Like I told her, I was like, this is abusive to look at me
Yeah.
and because you're mad at me because I'm leaving to basically look at me and say, you are out of here, get out, pack your shit and get out. And then try to beg me to stay because it didn't go the way you wanted. I didn't beg to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's fucking abusive. And she was begging. She was like, please don't go. Please don't go. Please don't go. I told her, I was like, I will be back another day to grab my shit. And I left.
Yep.
And and then she wouldn't let me bring Joey or his grandpa to help me get my stuff.
Oh.
And then she wouldn't let me take my fucking bed. Like she had a fucking use for she had no fucking use for that bed. That it was an old ratty bed that
Yeah.
her and my dad had slept on for years. They got a new bed. That one was handed down to me.
Mm-hmm.
They had no use for that bed. She wouldn't let me take it because it's theirs, and she didn't feel right trying to
Oh.
support me when I was mooching off of other people,
Right.
all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, and so she wouldn't let me bring anybody for emotional support, but she brought my aunt, so her and my aunt could go and like whisper about me outside and watch me make sure I didn't steal anything.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Don't want to steal the
and then
garden hose or something.
I fucking know. And then at some point, my beloved brother Gabriel tried to stop me. I can't remember what he stopped me that I was pulling up. I think it was like a laundry basket or something. But my mom had specifically told me I could take the laundry basket. That's a laundry basket. We had 5 million laundry baskets, Patrick. Oh, that, that's our laundry basket.
Yeah.
I was told I could take. Mom told you can take it. Yeah. Let me go check with mom. Okay. But you can get out of my way. I'm going to go to my car. Like, I'm not. It was fucking ridiculous. And so I had to basically meet Joey and Kataba at the empty church parking lot to switch stuff from my car into his car
Oh
like
my
2 or 3
God.
times. Yeah. And then drive back to my mom's house and do it all over again. So that was fun. So yeah, that's that story and that's that tier. Is that enough of a transition for you?
Yeah, that's a nice little conclusion. Not paragraph, sentence, I guess.
All right. So next one is 40F.
What the hell is that?
I just put it down that low because like nobody knows my fucking bra size, but I thought it would be funny. That's just the size of my titties.
I don't know. Like, I don't have a reference, really, so... Okay. Nice. The little fun fact.
Kaylee in 3rd grade. That was the girl that I told you about that was like a couple years older than me when I was in 3rd grade. And basically like was like, let's play a game, and then like sexually assaulted me.
Oh. Oh, Yep. Yeah.
Yep, do you remember that? Yeah.
I remember that now. Yep.
And then the James one,
Mm-hmm.
it was when I was at Northeastern, and we were in the lunch line, and like at Northeastern, like there were two sides, like two
Yeah.
lines, and you go in, you get all your food on each side, and then like you come out, and then there's one register lady, and she would do like one at a time. And James was on the opposite side of me, and I was like waiting for him to be done so I could do it. And he goes, "Hey, Jordan," and like looks me up and down. And he did that several times and like made like those motions to
Oh,
me.
that
Um,
in the high school lunch line?
yeah. Well, he didn't make this at the high school lunch line, but he did it in the hallway,
Oh, okay.
uh,
Well, still.
like a week or so later. Um, and then yeah, that's it for that tier. That tier's not that big.
Oh,
Um,
just
just
being sexually
sex
assaulted.
Yeah, sexually assaulted a couple times.
Not too. I mean, it's nothing compared to calling your friend donkey for like a year and a half, but
Um, and then the last one, so I think it was
I didn't read the last one, and I saw Joey's, and I was like, oh, what's this about? And
oh
now
my God.
tell the other one first. I think I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever you want to tell.
Okay. So the first one, it was this spring, and me and Joey, like, obviously he was here, and I was living at Momo's house,
Mhm.
and so we didn't have a lot of like personal intimacy time.
Mm.
So it was over text, call, that kind of
Other
thing.
forms. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And I was wearing
Okay.
certain I was wearing certain like bondage material.
All right. Yep.
And I think like one of my rules was I had to send him a picture, like so many pictures like every day or whatever. And so I sent him one
Okay.
at like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and my mom's asleep at that time. And then I noticed
Mm-hmm.
I didn't send it to him.
Nope.
I sent it to my mom.
Mm.
And I spam texted her. I was like, "Don't look at this." Like I sent a bunch of other pictures. I was like, "Do not scroll up. Do not look at the other pictures. You do
Oh.
not want to see them." So, yeah, that was really nice. Um, and then
Nice.
Joey's bottom nightstand drawer, that may or may not be where some of our spicy stuff is
Mm.
located.
I'm gonna put that clock that in back there. And save that for later.
Joey wanted me to not put that on here because he was like,
Because then I'll be aware.
yeah, and he was like, they're gonna go look.
Go look. I'm
I was
gonna go
like-
play. What do you mean?
But yeah, so that's it. That's my iceberg.
I like that I know where that stuff is now. So just at any point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. We're
Good.
sitting at a solid 2 hours and 35, almost 35 minutes right now in recording.
All right. Well, I think that should be the end. I had a lot of fun.
That was. I didn't think we'd get an hour out of that. We got a lot out of that.
Yeah, we did.
Damn.
Alrighty. Well, here goes to editing, and then let's try to have it put out latest Friday.
Yeah. Wait, are we telling
Okay.
them that or are we telling me that?
I'm telling you that. Like
Oh.
we can work on it together, but
Yeah. Some cuts.
I mean, let's try
we-
to be funny.
Are we gonna do a
Let's be-
conclusion here?
I was gonna say let's be funny and not edit this part out.
Oh, that what the longer it goes on, the more they're like, when's it gonna end? Because we just keep talking about absolutely nothing. They're like, well, you've already talked for I don't know 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Oh. Well, next time, since we're not like this was our intro, like next time I'm gonna have a fun like bunch of stuff from like work to tell you and like
yeah.
things that Joey did to piss me off this week or whatever.
Little check
So-
in.
Yeah, we'll have to talk and figure out what day next week we can do this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm gonna awkwardly stop the recording now. I really hope I keep this part in.